Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna.
And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions no one ever asked for.
Now, let's just say you said, I don't want a lot of news. I thought I didn't have as much news as I do have.
You have more? Let me see the list.
Okay, wait, but one's a pretty detailed, thing that happened, so that's why. Oh, wait, I can give you this news to read. Okay, so I'll start with...
I have something else, but go ahead.
Okay, you may hear a little click-clacky. So, hell's going over on at Warner Brothers. I was telling you about some of the stuff that's going on in the car the other day. They're only having enough money to release 2 movies this year now, and by trying to cut things, they lost more money. Also, I didn't write this down, but apparently they deleted most of the footage for the Batgirl movie, so when the directors went to go try to watch it, it was gone. It just didn't appear. But Shazam! Fury of the Gods is now delayed from December 11th, 2022 to March 17th, 2023, which to me says, what the hell are we going to do for your birthday? Because your birthday is always the perfect release for, a movie. Uh-huh. Think about it. We saw The Rise of Skywalker before the pandemic hit, and then we didn't go to any movies. Well, we kind of watched the Wonder Woman 1984 at home. And then just this last year, we went and saw Spider-Man for your birthday. Literally on her birthday, we went and saw Spider-Man. So yeah, we probably would have went to see Shazam, but guess not. And then Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is delayed till December 23rd, 2023. They were originally in the slot that Shazam has now taken, and I don't know how DC's ever going to get to the point where, Marvel is, because I feel like that's probably their end goal, is to get there. But when are they going to get there? It doesn't seem like anytime soon, if I'm being honest. And the worst part is, actually, I'm quite excited for most DC projects coming out, but these 2 were probably the ones I'm most excited for. I don't know much about Black Adam, but I know I like The Rock, so that's why I was excited for that.
One too.
But
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. Quite sad. Also, Disney Plus, I said when we first watched I'm Groot that they put it after Miss Marvel. They've now corrected it and put the first episode between Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2, and then the rest follow after Guardian Galaxy 2. So, thank you for doing that. Okay, so this, I don't think you know about this, but Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, he's going to be playing the villain in Netflix's Project Atlas that's going to be starring Sterling K. Brown and Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, she's in a...
Yeah, so how fun is that? So we'll probably watch that because I liked him in Shang-Chi. You like Jennifer Lopez. Do you want to read this one since you don't have much? It's about the New York Housewives.
The New York Housewives? Is it the same one that I have
or
a different one?
Motorcades here. No, you have Beverly Hills. I have New York. I don't know how true this is. I've heard rumors from page 6. Here, follow along with my finger.
Lizzie Sabaski will be joining the new revamped New York Housewives. Who is she?
She's some kind of influencer, I think, from Texas.
Really?
I don't know much about her, but yeah, supposedly she'll be... Oh, she's going to look her up now.
Well, yeah.
While she does that, HBO Max... One promising thing Warner Brothers has done. They released the first look at the Last of Us TV show. If you don't know, Last of Us is a post-apocalyptic video game. Probably my favorite.
Oh, her name's Elizabeth. Who is Elizabeth?
But she goes by Lizzie, I think.
Yeah, it seems like that, yeah.
Pedro Pascal is going to be playing Joel, and Bella Ramsey is going to be playing Ellie, and this is going to release early 2023. I will 100% be covering it because I love that game. Tomb Raider and that are probably my 2 favorite games ever. And Detroit Become Human, I'd say. I think from what we saw, I think Pedro Pascal is going to make a great Joel. Pedro Pascal's the Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
As far as Ellie, I don't really know Bella Ramsey. I believe she was in the Game of Thrones. But my favorite fan cast that I saw, when I watched The Wilds, the actress who plays Leah. Oh my god, she looks like Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2. But this is starting from the first one. So if they ever had to do a time jump, I would love for them to cast her as her because I just think she looks so much like her. Oh, here's more news you can read. I wrote this down for you.
Well, wait, before we start there, she's just an influencer from Texas. She's not as young as I thought she was. Like, not that she's old, but she's, not young. She's married, got kids. I think that's just her job. It seems like she's friends with Real Housewives of Dallas, Dr. Tiffany Moon.
Well, probably 'cause she's from Texas.
She's close friends with them. Says sophomore Leah McSweeney also follows her, along with Lisa Rose. But these are like people that are just following her, so they just know of her. Like Megan King, she's not Edmond, sorry, from Orange County, and Tracy Johnson from New Jersey. Who the hell is Tracy Johnson?
What's her face? The one from the new season, the new friend of that was so boring. Tiki Barber's wife, I think.
Tracy?
Well, I don't know. Google who that is.
That was her name.
Well, look, quickly. Read this next piece of news I have for you.
The Umbrella Academy renewed its 4th and final season. She just wanted me to do that to make me sad.
No, because she watches the Umbrella Academy. I don't watch it, so that's why
I haven't got back into it because the second one was definitely interesting. Oh yeah, it is Tiki Barber's wife.
Let's go.
I didn't know that was her name, Tracy. That just shows you
how little impact. She wasn't even invited to the reunion, or she was at the reunion, but they
didn't let her come out.
They just cut it off. Okay. Also, there's going to be. This is not new news, but the first pictures of the show Blockbuster that's going to be releasing on Netflix. It's about the last Blockbuster. Pictures came out for it. It's going to be starring Randall Park, who plays Jimmy Woo in WandaVision, the one who does the little card trick. Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
And Melissa Fumero, who plays Amy Santiago in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I will be tuning in because I loved her in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is coming out November 3rd on Netflix, which I think my favorite thing is everybody's like, it's so ironic that like a streaming service is talking about Blockbuster, who kind of, streaming service killed that genre of stuff. Okay, my one last piece of news, and it's quite a little bit long. So the movie Don't Worry Darling, starring Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, and directed by Olivia Wilde, it's got a lot of controversy going on to the point where I don't even know what 100% is going on. So if somebody says you got this wrong, this is what I've just tried to gather off the internet. But Florence Pugh said that she will not be doing any press for the movie Don't Worry Darling. She's only going to do the film premiere at the Venice Film Festival. Supposedly because there was a video leaked of Olivia Wilde trying to convince Shia LaBeouf to rejoin the film.
Yeah, but he has so many things going on that's wrong with him.
Well, no. So the reason he's not in the film anymore is because Florence had expressed feeling uncomfortable working with him.
Yeah, so he obviously was losing his marbles.
So Olivia Wilde said that we'll get rid of him or whatever, to make her feel more comfortable. Then she sent a video to Shia LaBeouf, basically saying that like Florence Pugh kind of has to she'll have to suck it up and get over it, and basically begging him to come back and rejoin the film. If you don't know, his character was supposed to be Harry Styles' character, which, looking at the thing, I've seen clips of Harry Styles in this movie, doesn't look great, but I can't see Shia LaBeouf playing the character that Harry Styles playing based on the looks.
Yeah, I just saw a clip of him the other day, and I was just like, wait a minute,
the one I was telling you about in the car.
Yeah, I just didn't see him.
And then she also tried to say that she had fired him for Florence Pugh, but he came out and said no, he quit. So it's kind of confusing. I probably wasn't gonna watch this movie anyway, even though I do like Florence Pugh. Maybe if we happen to have HBO Max when it goes on there, but really probably not. I'll just probably see what people on the internet think. That's what I'm doing as of now. I'm not a big Harry Styles fan, so it's not I won't go see it in theaters. All right, you do have some other news besides the news I made you read.
Yeah, I do have a few little pieces. Okay. So there was a big thing that went on this week, since we do the Housewives, and since the Housewives are not on this week, so we have to wait till next week for them. But in the interim, they did not miss making news. Apparently, people were attacking Garcelle's son, Jax, on his Instagram, DMing him very hateful, harsh things.
Yeah.
Which people, come on, it's unnecessary. Say what you want about the women, but their kids don't have any say in anything. And yeah, people could say, oh, they opened their whole family up. Yes, they did, but really, what do you think that's gonna serve? You're not gonna get anywhere or anything. It's just mean. and it went so far as that like Bravo actually posted like a statement about it because it was really, and all the housewives of course jumped on board and posted statements and stuff.
I don't know if you saw this. Almost every housewife reshared that statement. But Erica had commented on something. Basically, she shared the statement and then basically kind of shared something saying that she doesn't 100% like agree with the statement and they're just doing it to try to be like woke Bravo or something about the statement. So like,
it kind of is their responsibility to say something.
No, well, yeah, obviously, because you know.
I mean, I think it's because it's kids that you have to kind of like, because I think they've also at one point there was stuff that was sent to Portia's thing. They would send stuff to Kyle's daughter, Portia.
Yeah. They were just, I think, because I saw Lisa Rinna say it was like almost every kid was getting something. But I know Garcelle's son took the brunt of it.
Where they were sending stuff to Lisa Rinna's kids at one point. Like, I don't know if it was last year or something, like they were the ones that were getting hit or something. But, also, I don't know, but go like this. It's driving me nuts. Thanks. So also Paul Rudd has been officially cast as a regular for Only Murders 3. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I know that you called it Only Murders 3. Only Murders in the Building 3. Season 3.
Whatever. Come on. Shirt turned. You know what I'm talking about.
Shirt turned? What the hell?
Short terms. Like,
I thought you said shirt turned.
Shirt turn.
Turn that shirt around, girl.
And see that it's Only Murders 3. Also, for my personal sake, I have to mention that for all the Beverly Hills 90210 lovers, Joey Tata died recently this week. Nat, the owner of the Peach Pit, he was a staple, always kept the kids level. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I'm assuming that's what ultimately was. They didn't really say, but that was what did him in. But all the 90210ers posted about him, of course, because he was definitely beloved by all of them. Also, Sarah Hyland got married this weekend, J-Lo. Yeah. Sarah Hyland got married to Adam Wells, who was the bartender on Bachelor.
I thought he was on Love Island.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that was The Bachelor. Or it was Temptation Island. He was on one of these shows. I thought it was The Bachelor. And Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck also officially tied the knot again in Georgia.
Wait, a second time?
Yeah, they got married, I guess, in Las Vegas. And then this one was for their friends and family, I guess, like the official, like, get me dressed, nice wedding gowns.
Did you know that Vanessa Hudgens was Sarah Hyland's, like, one of her bridesmaids?
Yeah, they're really good friends.
I didn't know that.
I knew that from something else. There was a post that when we were watching Modern Family, I was looking at her for something, and that's when I found Adam Wells and all like that, and I kind of, like, investigated a little bit more about them.
I thought you knew him when we watched Worst Cooks, though. Because you said that they were watch Worst Cooks.
That's what I'm saying. It was that far back, like when it was that time. And I remember seeing her in a post with her and like referring to her as like, I think she was wishing her happy birthday or something, but like referring to her as one of her close friends, and there was like lots of pictures of them. So who knows how they met? Could have been like a Disney situation.
Probably. Also, most of the Modern Family cast was there at the wedding. I think only, I don't know the actual actor's name, but I think Phil Dunphy wasn't there. I know the mom was. I know the brother and sister were. Yeah. I know Sofia Vergara was there
with her son.
With and
the young brother.
No, yeah, the young brother. Cam wasn't there. Mitch was, because Mitch was the officiant.
Sure Cam wasn't there?
I didn't see him in this photo.
I see him in other photos.
Oh, maybe
he was in photos.
I'd be surprised if they didn't
stuff
show.
With the mom. It was him. Somebody else. Like they were out to eat. Regardless, let's go. So that's really all I have.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be more than I thought I could have.
Well, you need to spin the wheel this week because guess what? My computer that I usually use for notes crapped out on me. And it's sitting there with a black screen. So if anybody knows how to turn on a almost 10-year-old MacBook Air.
This is yours?
I don't know. It's just the one I opened that was in your thing. You have to spin the wheel, though.
This is definitely not mine.
Scroll down. Yours are on the bottom of the list.
I don't think so. Nope, we separated them. I have my own wheel of watching, so...
Oh, okay. We have to get that
Can I just give me a minute to get that up, please?
Yeah. So, yeah, that crapped out. So I'm currently reading on a little tiny Fire tablet.
Look, be happy I have the Fire tablet because it would have been a tinier phone.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And that was a struggle just to get that to work, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know why your wheel of watching is in my thing. I hope you didn't override mine. Now, here's mine.
No. No, I needed mine because we highlight them so we know which ones we've done. All right, so you're going to spin the wheel, but first you have to scroll down. I'll show you how to do this. Now, read our options. We do 3 TV, 3 movies, and 3 character actor ones for the Wheel of Watching.
Okay, so...
And then we do 1 random one as our 10th one.
If it's me, if I'm you and then you're me, so it's time for the Wheel of Watching.
I'm not doing that.
Wheel of Watching.
Don't spin it yet. You have to read what's on there.
Oh my god. All right, so it's best TV show poster. Please no.
I'm going to be honest, the number generator did horrible picking this day, and I hated every option they put, but I wanted to stop so bad because I don't like her computer.
Disney Plus original. Favorite CW show. Favorite movie franchise. Or franchise.
Eggs franchise.
No, franchise would be like chicken franchise. It's like a lemon sauce. No Marvel.
I was thinking
Star Wars.
Egg franchise.
So when we say movie franchise, we're talking about
no Marvel,
like Rocky and things of that nature.
No Marvel, no DC. Yeah, Back to the Future, Fast and the Furious, all those guys.
Favorite Disney Plus original movie. Favorite Disney Channel original movie. That sounds like the same thing. What's the difference?
The difference is it had to become a Disney Plus movie. It was only on Disney Plus. Their Disney Channel original movie is like High School Musical and Camp Rock. Different.
Steal their style, a non-hero.
Yeah.
What supergroup would you join? Which supergroup? I only watch this for the actor. And favorite cooking competition.
I'm gonna be honest. We go. Okay, so now click on the wheel and spin it. But if that's not a good option, we'll spin it again.
Just like here and spin.
Yep. Just click. Woo! What is it?
Favorite.
All right. I can do this one.
Actor.
I remember mine, so you don't even have to go look at mine. I picked The Chair.
The Chair?
Yeah, it's starring Sandra Oh. I was desperate waiting for Killing Eve to come back, which, God, if only I knew. But I saw that show on Netflix. It's like 1 season. I don't know if it got canceled, renewed. It doesn't say anything. But it's starring Sandra Oh, and she basically becomes like the board president at like a college school after one of these guys slips up. It's actually quite interesting and it's quite good, but I did in fact only watch it because I saw Sandra Oh's name in it. And I didn't know anybody else in the cast, I'll be honest. I didn't know anybody. But it was good.
I guarantee I didn't answer this one.
Uh-oh. Hold on, I'll think of a second one.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh!
Friends. I put Jennifer Aniston, and that's very true. Look, I watched Friends when it first came on the scene, way back when. But, like, if you ask me...
It's not that old, is it? Didn't it come out in the 90s?
Yeah, we're in 2022, my friend.
I know, but the 90s still sound close enough. That's like... Okay, 30 years. That makes Selena Gomez old.
Okay, 30 years for me is I'm 20. I'm your age.
Oh.
Yeah, so look at it that way.
Oh,
so,
God.
Yeah, I was doing a whole different scene then. I had time to sit around and watch Friends, when it came out.
As if her TV hour time now is in 30 hours in a week. You're 10 hours shy from having a work... having a work... What is it?
Work week.
Work week.
TV, yeah. Well, look, I did used to... Like, if you asked me, like, I would watch it just for her. And even then, I really watched it just for her because I really liked her. I liked her hair. I liked how she acted, the whole bit. So, yeah, I watched Friends primarily for her. She was my favorite. Phoebe kind of annoyed me sometimes. Now I think she's more funny, but back then, I don't know why she kind of annoyed me.
I've never watched enough Friends to form an opinion on any of them.
Well, we will be, because that's a requested bonus.
Yeah, a bonus episode coming soon. We don't know when, but it's coming soon, so get ready.
Yeah, so there you have it. That was...
Wow, look at that. You actually had an answer. I was like I'm looking at one of the forward questions. I'm like, why does she have Killing Eve now? She's never seen it, but she has some of my answers on her thing.
So can I...
Get rid of it.
Okay.
All right, now we're good. And now we're going to talk about our current TV shows. We watched Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
The finale.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Episode 2.
And that was it.
Yes.
That was it.
And then we had our individuals, but I jumped in on one of her singles.
Yeah, we'll get to that once we get there.
Which is sad, because you're really, lately, you've been here while I've been watching some of mine, so, I mean.
But I'm not fully conscious of what's going on.
I know.
She was we'll explain it more once we get to that.
We would have had the Housewives, but like we said, they
They left us.
I don't know why they're off this week, to be honest. I don't know what
Someone said Dubai was taking their time slot, but then I saw they're coming back next week. So how is Dubai taking their slot?
You know what it might be? I think it might be like the mid-season, their version of a mid-season break.
I don't know,
because
but
I think this is considered like the next half.
It's kind of rude that they did that. After I boasted about how it was my birthday week this past week.
And you know what's funny is they didn't say anything. Like, you know, like sometimes in the coming attractions,
but we don't. Did we get coming attractions?
Yeah, they showed the coming attraction. Oh, they showed them like in Aspen.
Yeah, they did.
But they just didn't say anything. Like that's so I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, we didn't find out until we're going on Peacock and we're like, where is it?
And she's going, it's there. It comes on the day. I'm like, I'm telling you, all I'm seeing is Disco Inferno. It's there. It comes up. And I'm like, okay, but whatever. And then she looked on her little TV app, and no, it wasn't. So there you have it. Anyway. So, but regardless, this was a big week for Murders in the Building because it was the finale.
And I also, for my solo watch, I watched a whole entire show, so I have quite a bit to talk about. Yeah. All right.
Well, I watched 8 episodes of Southern Charm from my
solo.
I watched 8 episodes. Lordy.
The show I watched was 8 episodes too, so we're good.
There you go. We're even.
And I watched one other episode. A spoiler: I didn't watch Breaking Bad though.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch Only Murders, we're gonna give it up right now. But
yes,
I will say we posted on Instagram. She posted on Instagram our pics.
Oh yeah, we did,
and we were right.
You literally. Where's my phone? Hold on, I'll get.
Well, I was like half right in a weird way too. No, I was right, but I was also a bonus right because I had said. Well, I had initially said that somehow Alice was going to be accused, and she technically was.
Well, you said she was going to be the killer,
and then I changed it to Poppy once we got more of the story. But it did turn out that Alice was thrown in there as a killer,
but not
really, but you know.
Okay, so I had wrote in my thing that.
No, she went into detail. She didn't tell me we were doing this. She just said pick your person.
Wait, so I wrote mine. I wrote. I think Krebs moved Bunny around, but Poppy did the killing, and her fingerprint was on the matchbook. Hence why they want to get it back. And Cindy Canning has no true ties except for bossing people around. I probably would have left Krebs out of the moving it if I didn't think until this episode they kind of confirmed that Bunny was pushed into Mabel's apartment. Like they didn't drag her through the tunnels into Mabel's apartment, which that changes my whole view of it because I would have thought you need somebody who's going to be able to pick somebody's body up and move them.
Does Bunny and Mabel live on the same floor? Do we know? Because I will say why. When I was looking some stuff up for the Emmys, right, they actually said what floor each person lived on, and Charles, Oliver, and Mabel do not live on the same floor.
No, they don't. I know that.
One's on 14, 10, and 12. So where does Bunny fall into this? Because if she's not on the same floor as Mabel, then what is she doing? Getting pushed down the stairs? I mean, see, like this was.
Oh yeah, she took a lot of things.
This was my goal because I felt there was a lot of inconsistencies that people weren't going to ask about, which. Yeah, I didn't like that part. So.
And you just wrote down Poppy. Literally just Poppy. And I said, you don't want to explain? I even read mine, and she said, no, just put Poppy.
After the fact, she said that. And at that point, I was like, no, I don't want to explain.
She's like, just put Poppy. So if you follow us on Instagram, we watch it all. You would have seen that, obviously. Okay, are you looking up her floor right now? Or
I would like to know that question. I just don't know her name. Unfortunately, they go by their real names, so I have to...
Press Command F and then search Bunny.
She was on 12A.
She was on Mabel's floor?
Yep, because Mabel was 12E. So let's see, now that makes sense. Okay, so she was on the same floor with her.
All right, well, let's get started.
Ted Demas was on 6B. This is very specific that they actually, like...
Well, if you go on their thing and you probably look at their doors, it probably has their numbers and things like that.
Oh,
so that's probably where people are getting them from.
That's where they're getting it from. Yeah.
Are we ready to start though? For real?
Yeah.
Okay. So the episode starts with Poppy narrating over her life before she became Poppy. We see that her dad was abusive and that the town mayor was like hitting on her and harassing her. And while she would listen to one of Cinda's podcasts about like I guess like another one of like a murder Cinda covered.
Yeah, it was whatever she did before.
Yeah.
Okay in Oklahoma or whatever. All's okay.
All is not okay in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
She decides that she needs to disappear, and then she like goes in the bathroom, cuts her bangs, and then we see her arriving in Cinda's office in like the Poppy look that we know of now.
Which again, here's the thing. She in the thing, you see her with short red hair, and not short, but it's like shoulder length, and now you see her, which you can only assume is a couple of days later, with like this long black hair that's not a wig, and like what? Like, how do you get that long?
Yeah, if they could have done it, you know what they could have done? They could have just put the actress in a short black wig. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe our TV was dark and we couldn't
just
see,
made her
but
hair longer and then made it look more like plausible. I don't know.
Yeah, because clearly she had a wig on that she was cutting. But
like, yeah, it's just like if you're trying to figure out the timeline, like, it's just no, how's that possible?
So she tells Cinda about an idea for a podcast, basically the All Is Not Okay Oklahoma podcast, and
she's very heartless, Cinda. Like, and I think they're doing that on purpose to throw you off of the Poppy scent, because they make her like, they ask her like, was the girl dead? Is the girl this? Is the girl that? Is the girl like very like morbid stuff? And she says, because that would make it better if she was dead, if we were missing, or we don't know this or that. And I'm like, geez Louise, but I mean, I get it. That's why it makes it, you know, obviously would make the podcast, but
and then they flash forward to like the end of kind of last season. They're listening to the group's podcast on Murders in the Building, and Poppy offers the idea of doing a podcast on Rose Cooper, a woman who went missing, and she basically rejects it and shuts it down and calls it, what did she call it? Something farts.
Yeah, something about farts. Like, she makes it like a horrible joke about it and tells her that it's like she doesn't need that kind of stuff. She which, if you really think about it, she actually gives Poppy, it really is Cinda's fault, because she gives Poppy the idea of where to get a podcast from, because she tells her, I need an A-list celebrity with a hot girl with a rack and blah blah, and she basically described Charles, Oliver, and Mabel.
Yeah.
And basically told her like what to do, and she found them, and you know, I guess from being there in New York watching the Tim Kono, she probably put two and two together and was like, oh. But what I don't understand is why she went after Bunny. Like, why pick Bunny? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I guess because she wanted the painting. But here's my thing.
What did she want the painting for? And how did she know the painting was important? How did she even know there was a painting? Like, I know this is the stuff that I'm saying. Like, I know she knew about Rose Cooper, because everybody knew about Rose Cooper, that she went missing. But how did she know that there was a painting, or that the painting was important to anybody? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, well, you know what, we do see in the end her talking to Krebs Poppy, and she says, you'll never believe what I discovered in the building. I discovered tunnels in the walls. So maybe she
unless she heard it, like heard them talking about it. But again, like,
she had to plan this within a week of Tim Kono dying. You
that's
know
what I'm saying.
So like, it's quite like a elaborate thing to plan in 1 week and execute it. All right, I think it was 1 week or a month or something.
It seemed like 1 week.
I think they said 1 week.
Because that's when they were doing that whole, like...
the week party, and that was the day Bunny died.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff that's like, wait, what? Because why is she already, like... I know the Oklahoma was over and they were looking for something, even though they were covering the Tim Kono... Because they were covering the Tim Kono one themselves, right?
I don't
the
think
Only Murderers in the Building.
No, Only Murders in the Building is this podcast talking about them, the group.
But they didn't. What was she doing? Remember, she used to be there all the. She said she was covering the Tim Kono.
Oh, maybe she did. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's when she started. Only Murderers in the Building
was
last season. I think she was doing
at the end of the show.
She wasn't doing a competitive one.
I don't think so.
No, because she was still doing Oklahoma, wasn't she? Or she was wrapping it up, and that's when she was saying, "I need another one."
Yeah.
Why they were at the Arcadia doesn't make sense.
In the
to
beginning, like, how did Poppy convince her, say, go to the Arconia now because they're gonna all get in trouble? Like, how did she convince Cinda to go?
She does say that she was here when Lester, going forward, accuses her of being in the building a lot, and she says, well, I was here for the Tim Kono case. So why she was here didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I don't understand. But once Poppy mentioned Rose Cooper, though, that's when I was like, it's Poppy. Yeah. It's Poppy. We're right.
Also, just because you kind of like, you also like, they do try to make it seem that Cinda's so like cold and things like that, but you also get that she's kind of like prissy in a sense. Like, she
Who's
also,
Cinda?
yeah, because you also see her in a clip before being like, I want a turkey sandwich, no tomato, no lettuce, no. No
very,
bread,
very picky,
just
specific
just
and all.
turkey and bread. Like, I can't see somebody like that being like confident enough or being able to fulfill like killing somebody. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, well, in this style of being so planned.
When you think of all the things that Poppy said and all the stuff that was adding up, it did add up to think that, oh, okay, she let an innocent man go to jail in Oklahoma when she knew that he was, not who he said
yeah, in the present day, but they talk about that.
They didn't realize that, but she didn't know at the time.
Cinda doesn't even know that, like.
But based off of what Poppy was saying, it made sense, that she did this. So they figure they have to get her to confess, but like they know that's not going to be easy because, I mean, how are you going to get her to confess when she's involved with a crooked cop? And obviously he's not, he already stated that he's not going to give anything up.
So Mabel texts Williams to see if she's got any info on the knife, and then they actually go and meet up with Poppy at the diner to ask her how can they get Cinda to confess, and Poppy tells them that Cinda doesn't like the inside of tomatoes and slow motion.
Yeah, the stuff they give her is so bizarre, but you'll see they use it.
And then while they're there, Cinda calls Poppy and she has to leave, and Poppy orders a liverwurst and marmalade sandwich to go. And then we see Mabel get up and take the call from Detective Williams, and Charles and Oliver.
Yeah, but even before that, the waiter guy comes over and gives some insight on the sandwich, because he kind of says they're all like, ooh, that's gross or whatever, and they're like, yeah, that's the owner's sister's favorite sandwich, and Bunny used to say that it was freak food, so they made a point of letting them know that she knew of this sandwich, and we find out how she knew later.
And then while Mabel's taking the call, Charles and Oliver talk about how Cinda's going to be dropping the finale, and that they know that, she's obviously going to try and blame Mabel for it. And then
that's when Mabel comes back.
Mabel comes
But before Mabel left, you saw her looking down at the menu when she's mentioned the sandwich, and you saw her like make a connection with something, but we didn't know what it was at the time. And that's when she comes back and she says to them, guys...
no, she doesn't tell them now. We don't know that she tells them until in the future.
No, but when she came back and sat across from them,
she tells them, she goes...
I think I know what 14 Savage meant.
Yeah, and then cut.
Yeah, and then,
And then we see...
So we don't know that they know, or how much they know. It actually means. We didn't know what it meant, but she obviously told them.
And then we see that they're going to meet up with the tenants of the building, Lester, Howard, Jonathan, Uma, the lady...
Why am I calling him Harold? It's Howard.
And the lady who sells gut milk.
I put gut milk too.
I don't know her name.
And Jonathan the super fan.
Marv.
And the super fan.
Marv is the only non-tenant that's at this party.
And some strange guy on the couch that we
don't know who he
is.
She thought he was a doctor of the building, but he's not. The doctor of the building has a shorter hair and glasses. Are you looking this up?
Well, I did have their pictures up, so it would be easy to figure out.
And they are going... You should look on IMDb. It's probably the best.
That's where it was initially. That's what I had up initially.
And they're at Bunny's for a killer reveal party, which everybody's like, is it a killer reveal party or is it a killer reveal party? Like, meaning the killer's going to be revealed, or is it just like a really good...
This was him, yeah, Dr. Glover.
That's not the guy who was on the couch, though.
I think it was.
No, it's not. Look, he's bald.
This one here, though.
He's bald. The guy had longer hair.
Yeah, but maybe he has it now. These are all from season 1.
He was in season 2 bald. Go on IMDb.
That's what I was just on.
That's on IMDb.
Hold on, I was before.
Yeah, that's him.
Who is he?
Who is this man?
New York City-based actor. Oh wait, that's not what we want. Who is his character?
I don't know. Scroll down. What's his name so we can call him by his name instead of the guy on the couch?
Where would you find his name? In here. Yet again, no name.
Liam.
But who is Liam?
I don't know who the hell Liam was. I don't remember him. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this guy in this show. No?
couldn't tell you what part he played in here.
So once the group arrives at Bunny's party, Oliver asks if any of them have theater training, and Jonathan, as we know, he said he's on Broadway for The Lion King. Howard said he had auditioned for one, and Lester said that he was on Broadway basically until he became an alcoholic, right? And then he left the stage.
Yeah, which his whole commentary was so hilarious. Here's the funniest part, okay? What? So this guy, when you go onto Wikipedia, which I know everybody Wikipedia's not like legit, but it does list the characters and stuff. So under the main characters, clearly he's not there. No shock. Recurring character, not there.
Is he a guest?
Guest, not there. So he is like
either nobody's updated this or
he's like nowhere.
We hallucinated that man on the couch together.
Oh, he was definitely there. He was definitely there. That's just the craziest thing.
The group says, though, the reason they're doing this party is because they're going to live stream the killer reveal party for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you do see them at the end of the episode recording the podcast. And it's like, well, didn't you live stream the podcast episode? I don't know. And then Cinda and Poppy arrive.
Yeah, because she thinks that Mabel's going to confess. Well, the whole sad thing is they lead you to believe that Cinda doesn't have a clue, but clearly she's in on it once you see how this all goes down.
Yeah, they kind of like seem like they're going to explain the plan, but they don't actually explain it to us. We kind of find out as like
it unravels.
Everybody else unravels.
Yeah.
And as Charles is explaining the party, Alice shows up, and it's something that made me like, I was like, I second guessed thinking Poppy, because he's like, and the killer's in the room as soon as she walked in, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
She like kind of walked in weird, like you weren't expecting her, because the last she left, like Mabel said, like, I can't trust you her. And this and that, and so obviously she called her in for, which I have to say her part in this did make the most sense. Like, if you were going to go to another angle. Like, it did make the most sense because you could tie her in with, you know.
Yeah. And then Charles explains Bunny's last day, kind of everything that we saw in kind of Bunny's last day episode.
Yeah, her day and how she, and how the killer got Bunny down to Mabel's apartment and used Oliver's knife and Mabel's knitting needles and Charles' painting just to frame the three of them, which is, again, doesn't make sense to me because, like you said, if this really transpired in a week, right? So that's a lot to be like, how do you know that there's this knife? How do you know, like, that there's this painting? Like, you had to kind of know all this and pull it together, like, really quickly because that's, like, weird. And then the weird thing is...
Yeah, how did she know that was Charles's dad in the painting?
Yeah, like, and then... well, I don't know. Maybe she didn't know that. Maybe she just knew that it was an expensive painting of Bunny's, and to find it in his apartment would give motive for killing her. So that I don't know if she knew the whole particulars. She just wanted
three things to tie, like the painting would tie to Charles.
She might
have the knife would tie to Oliver.
True, she might have known about the painting because if she followed Rose Cooper, she might have known that she painted a painting for Bunny, but she might not have known like the secrets behind the painting. So she might have just known that it was supposed to be an expensive painting
because of Rose Cooper's
and like if you found it in Charles's apartment, that would be reason for motive. But here's my thing. If she's supposed to, and she did state it, we get to it, where she makes a comment about that I texted you to tell you to get out of the building. But if you wanted them out of the building, why did you use Oliver's knife, Charles's the painting?
Okay, well, you said this too, and
that didn't make sense to me.
No, so
you're basically
like we're saying
them, but then telling them
she
to get out of the building.
Yeah, she each gave them their own thing. The murder would be tied to Mabel through her apartment, Oliver through his knife, and the painting through Charles.
Yeah.
Which, that'd be such a weird motive for, like, why would they want to steal, like, a painting? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
If it was supposed to be very expensive, which I guess it was.
But I feel like then wouldn't you want to plant the expensive painting with Oliver, who's, like, known to not have a lot of money?
Yeah, I don't know.
But you said, why did she text them to get out of the building? I think to make it look like they were fleeing the scene. Like they were trying to flee the scene of the crime.
Could be.
Because if she knew that they were all upstairs celebrating, then obviously they're nowhere near her. Like if they...
Yeah, but if they were up on the roof celebrating or in there, like they would have no motive. They would have no allies except the three of them. So I don't know. I just thought I thought that part didn't explain itself
and
to me.
well,
she
did say that when she said it all went wrong when Mabel came down to her apartment. I think she means it all went wrong because that's when Bunny kind of whispers the 14 savage, kind of gives Mabel a clue.
Yeah. But I also thought that's why I hadn't caught on yet to the fact that Cinda was like working with the three of them, because when she mentioned the crooked, she was a really good actress at this. When she mentioned the crooked cop, Krebs, she still looked surprised. Like, how did you know about that or something?
Yeah.
Like,
well, because I guess, I don't see, that doesn't clear up, did she actually work with Krebs or not?
Yeah, it kind of was just because he was in Oklahoma and she obviously knew of him, but she could have just used him to get her, like, evidence and information. And in her mind, she's thinking that's what they were referring to. So that's why I was like, well, maybe that's what they're referring to. But then they say that Lester tells them that she was in the building a lot when she said she was here for the Tim Kono case.
And then, like, after that, Howard starts, like, crying.
Oh my God.
And then, Lester starts crying, and then Howard starts singing. Like, what was the song?
Dreamcoat.
Yeah, the song, that was the play he auditioned
because
for.
Lester made a speech, basically, and Oliver said, oh my God, he was so good. And then, like, Harold just breaks out, my Technicolor Dreamcoat is the color of the something. He does, like, a whole big, cracking legs, whole big thing. And then in comes the best part. The tomato and the slow-mo.
Well, really? They start saying, like, why would we do that in slow motion? Which to me,
why would we do? And then everybody joined in. It was like the most craziest
but to
thing.
me, I felt like that scene kind of reminded me of like a Cheaper by the Dozen scene. I don't know why. I felt like it just was like
either that or Father of the Bride.
I haven't seen Father of the Bride. But
oh my God, what is wrong with you? Yes, you have. You've seen it. You just don't remember.
Well, it's on Disney Plus, both of them.
Oh my
and I
God,
think we should watch. Did you know there's a Father of the
God.
Bride Part 3-ish? They do like a Zoom call.
What?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Father of the Bride, like it was like for COVID, like as a charity relief thing. They have them all
I think I did know that. Yeah.
Florence Pugh's in it. Yelena Belova.
Why is she in it?
She's somebody's daughter or something. Somebody?
Oh, maybe she's
like grown up.
Yeah,
like
they
she's
might
supposed to be the grown up daughter.
They had another daughter at the same time. Their daughter had a daughter. It was crazy.
Anyway. And so yeah, they freak her out with the slow mo, and then she's like, "I'm gonna leave," and then they start cutting. They're like, "Don't leave," and then they start cutting tomatoes.
A tomato and like just starts squishing the center.
Yeah.
It starts making her crazy, and says like she's not gonna confess.
Yeah, and they all start yelling at her, "Admit it, admit it, admit it," and then that's when. Oh, my R2D2 is going off. I apologize. I got a Tamagotchi between this episode and last episode, you guys. My apologies. I should have taken his batteries out. But Mabel though tells them to stop because it's not her.
Yeah,
it's
she didn't
Alice.
Do it. And then she turns around and she's like, she did it, and points to Alice. And like you could see Poppy's face was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But I think Poppy didn't care because as long as it still wasn't her, she didn't care until they started giving her too much credit. But
so she says that like Alice was a real charmer and she checked all the boxes.
She brought out the Son of Sam card, which again another part that doesn't make sense to me because if Alice was supposed to be the killer and she had the Son of Sam card, then that whole thing was bogus.
But I don't think so because we only see, like I said, the overview of the back, and I think it was just probably Mabel's card.
So that meant Mabel was the killer.
Yeah. That doesn't mean she was the actual killer.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The game was bogus then. So he wasn't right, Oliver, about his thing. But she uses that as part of her way to explain like what went on. And then like Mabel says that Alice met with Bunny in the diner, asking her to buy the painting for like $14 million or something. Yeah,
she said that's why Bunny said 14 for Savage to her.
Yeah, for the Savage painting, yeah.
And she says, Mabel tells her, well, I know that was a bit out of your price range. And then they have cake. The cake was such a big thing too, which was kind of funny.
Which was funny because I didn't see the cake come in, and then all of a sudden there was cake at the table.
Yeah.
All set up with the knife and all like that.
Well, we didn't see them set up for the party, so I think it was in that. Yeah. So Alice goes and grabs the cake knife and turns around to go stab Mabel, and then Charles pushes her away and gets stabbed. To the point where we literally both gasped.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was like, wait. And the funny thing is that Steve Martin has said that this was...
Yeah, last week I think
this will be his last thing.
Like, big
we're
role.
like, well, wait, he's going to be in it for next year, right? But... Yeah, it was just like, you were like, wait, see. Maybe not. Maybe, like, who knows?
But it's one of those shows where, like, you can't get rid of this group.
No, but it was just like, you thought maybe, oh God, maybe.
So everybody freaks out. He's pretty much presumed dead, and Uma says that the ambulance is on the way. And Cinda sits down and talks to Mabel and kind of like boasts about
that,
her.
She's just like, Poppy, did you get all that? Did you get all that stabbing? And like, it's hard to tell like if Poppy was scared or excited, because it was like, I think she just didn't know like what direction this whole thing was like going in. It was like so weird.
Yeah, I think they got like, I think she wasn't expecting her to like literally or try to kill people, like Alice to try to kill people.
Yeah.
And then so Cinda, like I was saying, sits down with Mabel and talks to her, and she kind of like is boasting about her, saying that she could really use somebody like her.
She was like, I'm so sorry that this happened.
And she could give, like, she could see her having like her whole own podcast, like at the Cinda Productions.
Like her on her staff, and which was crazy to me too, because she says she can have her own podcast, even though she already has one with Charles.
I guess. Well, I think she means like by
on
herself,
her own,
like on her own.
Because she did, according to her, she did solve it on her own, and then it just Poppy starts to freak out and says there's nothing tying this Australian girl to Bunny's murder, and she starts getting herself all worked up, and she walks more into the center of the room.
Well, if you notice, they took Mrs. Gambellini like in the transition after he died. Yeah. They put Mrs. Gambellini on like out of the cage.
Yeah, like one of those bird arms things. Yeah.
Which I noticed when we rewatched it.
I was like, what the hell is that about?
When we rewatched it, I realized what they were trying to...
Yeah, we watched it once just to enjoy it, and then we rewatched it to take notes. 'Cause, you know.
So, obviously, Poppy starts sneezing while she's telling Cinda, like, how much she does for her.
And then she sneezes twice, and then, what's her name? Cinda goes, listen, multiple sneezes mean...
more than 2 sneezes in her presence, you have to quarantine.
Yeah, you have to quarantine.
And I was like, funny. That's very true. So Oliver and Mabel start questioning her, asking her, why did she ask, why did she pitch Rose Cooper to Cinda, and if she had allergies. And then what did they mention about then they say that somebody sneezed in the tunnels.
Yeah, she said that that the girl that saw the killer in the tunnels had somebody sneeze. And
well, no, they don't
somebody
say
that was fleeing the tunnel. Well, she did say the girl.
No, Mabel.
Walls. Yeah, Mabel said that.
No, Mabel didn't say that. Mabel said the night Bunny died, someone said that
they heard someone sneeze in the tunnels.
And then Poppy slips up and says, "Why would you believe a young girl in the walls?" Basically, kind of confirming.
And Mabel's like, "How did you know that was Lucy? How did you know about that or something?" And she said only the killer would know about a girl hiding in the walls of the building.
Yeah, and then Cinda tells Poppy that she knows that her name is...
Yeah, because Mabel says her name was Lucy, and Cinda goes, and your name is Becky. Butler or whatever.
And then, like, Charles wakes up, and everybody screams.
Oh, my God.
Which we're still not sure if the tenants knew that he was supposed to die or not.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like it. It felt like they kept that part a secret so that their reaction
only
would
maybe
be real.
Uma knew, because I think Uma's call to the ambulance was, like, a code call to, like, Detective Williams.
Because then she shows up instead of actually the ambulance. So, but I think they did that to keep it like genuine with them, so that they had a genuine reaction.
So Charles says that she basically stabbed like a fake blood bag, and Poppy admits how we were saying that she said everything went wrong as soon as she texted Mabel, or texted the group to get out, and Mabel ended up going to her apartment.
Yeah, they do like a little bit of a flashback showing like kind of what happened, right? Like where they show Detective Williams telling Mabel that she found the saliva on the knife from a dead girl in Oklahoma.
And then that's when we see Mabel come back to the table and says that she thinks Bunny meant 14 sandwich, which was the number 14 was the liverwurst Poppy's order. And then, like we were just saying, Detective Williams arrives and they arrest Poppy. And Detective Krebs is in the background, arrested. But I think, in my opinion...
At first we were like, wait, what?
Why did they bring the arrested man?
Just be like a drive-by for the arrest?
I think they brought him there, like, lying to him, saying, we're going to arrest Mabel. Because he was the lead detective, and they arrest him, like, outside the door. And then...
but they also let you think that it was Cinda that was in love with Krebs. Yeah. When we end up seeing that it wasn't. Like, they pan to the shot that they showed of Cinda, like, smiling, and they pan over and you see that it was actually Poppy.
And that they were dating.
That they were dating, and that she planned to take over the podcast. And then you see that Krebs's, like, thing was that he was going to solve the murder. And,
to get a promotion.
Yeah, and hopefully he'd get a promotion. Like, that was his angle for... So they kind of give you his angle for why he helped her. And they were thinking they were going to get out of like cheap dive hotel they were in or whatever.
And then we see a little bit after they've all wrapped up their podcast, and they go to the set of Brazos, and they tell Charles that like his character's doing like really well to the point where they're going to take him out of the wheelchair. He will no longer have dementia. Yeah. And then he tries to ask out Joy, who is
didn't understand this part.
Who
like why
was
they
his
made
hairstylist?
Him sound so like that he couldn't speak.
And he basically can't speak, but they do end up going out on
I just didn't see what the point of that was. Like that was kind of like bizarre.
And then Mabel has Alice over to like help her start renovating, and she covers the painting that she painted in season 1 of everybody in it. Which I mean, might as well. There's mostly dead people in that painting now.
Like, really, at this point, if they're
R2D2,
if they're not dead, they're accused of something. And then you have it goes to Oliver's apartment, and you have Will arrives to help him. He called him for Mrs. Gambolini, which he's now calling Mama G.
Mama G.
Mama G. He was doing something, and he said the dog noticed that something wasn't right with her. But I guess he feels like he's got to tell him the truth. So he says, he tells him that he isn't his. He goes to tell him that he really isn't his father, and he tells him that if he's not his father, he doesn't know what a father is, and. They hug and everything,
Which I did say when we found out about that father thing that I could have seen it being a plot line, but that means that like the son would have had to be mad at him for not being his dad and lying to him, even though he didn't know that he wasn't his dad. So like the son, that would have been a crappy storyline to have done like that. So it's probably better that they did just do it now. And while he's hugging the son, he gets a call that that they want him to direct a play on Broadway in a year from now. Yeah. And then they flash forward a year from now at the play, and we see him trying to get Ben Glenroy, who is Paul Rudd, obviously. We said Paul Rudd's going to be joining next season. He's trying to get him out of his dressing room.
Yeah, for opening night. And he says something about he can't work with him.
He's I wrote he's complaining about a mystery co-star. Yeah. And then while they're waiting for the curtain to go up, Charles comes over, and I assume he revealed that he's the mystery co-star, and he wishes him luck, which is actually like
he says
bad luck.
Break a leg or
no, he says good luck. He says good luck, which is basically wishing bad luck in the theater. And he says something. I know what you did. He tells him to be smart and stay away from her. Yeah. And Ben asks, "What is Charles going to do to him?" And Charles tells him that he knows what he did. Yeah. And then Mabel arrives, and she's sitting there with Lucy and Joy, like in her row, and then like Oliver joins them. And then there's some tenants sitting behind them, which I thought it would have been funny if they'd put Lester in the play, like for a little thing. That would have been fun. But he is in the back row watching. Yeah.
Then he starts like a monologue or something on stage, and he starts to fall down, and blood starts coming out the mouth.
And that's where the show ends. So
then they have Charles runs out on the stage though and tells them he's not moving. He's not sure what has happened to him, but like we were saying, like, okay, how is this only murders in the building if it's on a stage? So then, like, you had a good point, like, of perhaps he lives in the building.
Yeah, I also so oh my god, I wish I could remember. I love his TikToks, but I think his name's Mike. But he mentioned saying that each season obviously has very felt like for one character. Like season 1 was very Mabel, this season's very Charles backstory, and he feels
this will be
Oliver. And he said, if you think about it, yes, Oliver lives at the Arconia, but his true home is theater. Yeah. So like in a sense, like this is his home where the murder's gonna take place. I don't know. I mean, it sounded interesting, and I was like, that is very true.
But I think he'll probably live in the building.
I'm sure, yeah. Which, speaking of living in the building, what the hell was Amy Schumer there for? Just to annoy me?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, they never
really... the kind of same thing that Sting was there for. He wasn't really there for
He was just there
anything.
as a joke character, but
I think that's what she was there
she was just there to move the plot along, I think, with the
I just think she was funny. Like, I think they put her in there to make it... You think that it was going to be something, and it was
really nothing.
It was nothing.
Overall, I thought it was really good. Also, the guy I was just mentioning, he said that he felt like season 2 was almost like a meta, like how you're like always like season 2s are always trying to do just as good as like season 1, and like because they're doing a season 2 of their podcast, it feels like that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. With this, which I think is very funny. Like even how he says like this doesn't feel like a finale, because in a way it didn't feel like a finale, because it's like we do know stuff, but it's like
Yeah.
You're gonna wrap this all up in this episode and answer everything. I mean, we know we said that.
Sorry. Oh my god, the death stairs are moving my foot.
We know, like you were pointing out, there were some things that were like left open.
I'm sure they probably could explain it away. I'm sure they probably could, but
yeah,
I couldn't. So there's that.
She had to go full Eric Voss, find the Easter eggs, break it down. Speaking of Eric Voss, are we ready to do She-Hulk? Well, actually, not speaking of Eric Voss, because Eric is not breaking down She-Hulk. Yeah. Jessica Clemens is. But you know what? New rock stars. You already know. Oh, did we say the title of that last episode? It was called I Know Who Did It. She-Hulk this episode is called Superhuman Law, which I don't know if they're going with quotes. I know they do mention the word superhuman law, but like I was saying last week, I felt like they might have been doing quotes.
What do you mean quotes?
Like from the episode as the episode titles.
Oh.
Because last one was like a normal amount of rage. Okay, so this episode starts with flashing of different news channels reporting about what happened at the end of the episode where Jen had turned into the She-Hulk, and they also officially kind of dub her She-Hulk.
Yeah, well, they're throwing around names, and she's just like, I hope that doesn't stick, because I don't want that.
I want water.
Do you not have water?
Oh, I do.
My God. I have like an inch left of water in my cup, and she's like, I want water.
Okay, sorry. Little water break. So she goes to...
You can't have the air conditioning on.
So she goes to a bar with Nikki and Dennis, who was the guy from the last episode said, who the hell's his name? His name is Dennis.
Yeah, still.
But she goes in as She-Hulk because outside the bar they're all chanting She-Hulk, She-Hulk, She-Hulk. So that she's like, Nikki's like, just give them what they want. Just go in as She-Hulk. And when she goes in, they continue chanting her name. They give her like free drinks and stuff. And I think one of the funniest things is she sits down with Nikki to drink. And she brings up like a lot of valid questions that I think you think about, but you don't really think about. Like she mentioned, like one of them was like, she's breaking out a fan. No, they're gonna hear the wind blowing on the thing.
Really?
She claps the fan.
I'm not allowed to.
So what I was saying was, though, her and Nikki were talking. She made a lot of valid points. Like, do the Avengers get health care? Do they get paid?
Yeah,
do they
that's
have
what
maternity
I
leave?
like about this. Is like she speaks.
It's very meta.
What does that mean?
I know what it means, but I don't know how to explain it. Like,
well, I feel like she speaks the way we like. She asks the questions that I feel like I ask.
Yeah,
like,
Google stupid, what does it mean to be meta. What does meta mean in a TV show?
TV show.
Like, I know what it means.
As creators and viewers have become more savvy and conscious of techniques, meta storytelling, which a TV show acknowledges its own status.
Yeah. Like, where it's kind of becoming meta, where it's, like, acknowledging things that we are talking about, like, how they talked about Captain America in the other episodes. Like, things like that, like, where they're kind of pointing out.
And that's what, that's my thing, is that, like, I just...
Yeah.
I have these questions, and, like...
She's, like, the perfect character to do it.
Well, because do you remember what... They kind of... I think they brought it up... No, I think the girl brought it up on the Rockstars, where they were saying when... what's the guy that took over for Captain America?
Sam Wilson.
Yeah, when he went to get the loan, they were just like, well, what do you have? You have nothing, because he was, there's no work.
They kind of get to live
as a superhero.
They live at Avengers, like, campus and things like that, so they don't really have to...
an Avenger campus, because he was living with his sister, so...
He was trying to get his sister.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But like, he wasn't living there personally at the time. Yeah. Like, so it's like, where do you get your money from? Where do they get? So she's making a point. Like, I still need a job, like, to pay for things, because I'm not going to live at the,
Which makes us question, how the hell did Vision buy a house for Wanda? I guess he just stole like money. He data transferred money.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did there, but it definitely seems like something criminal.
But that's the other thing. It's like they don't answer those questions. They just kind of let them go. And then you're just like, okay, well, I guess we're not touching that one. Just try to guess it.
So her boss comes in to talk with her, but he requests that she comes out of She-Hulk form because it's kind of like a serious conversation. But he only really does it when she stands up and pretty much like towers him, and he'd have to look up to her, which I think is weird, like funny and weird. But while she switches from She-Hulk to Jen, she basically drops on the floor because
she like falls off the chair.
The being drunk hits her instantly because she just switched the metabolism so bad, which is like not the greatest because she probably could have accidentally just given herself like alcohol poisoning if she's not careful.
I guess so. Like, but you'd eventually have to switch back at some stage of the game. So, you'd have to wait till it wore off.
Well, you saw, like with her and Bruce in the last episode, when she got drunk and she fell asleep, she reverted back into Jen and had the hangover.
I guess she slept it off, but had the hangover, but not the
So, like, if, like, her human body's still processing it, but she's not in her human body, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Her boss, though, tells her that he has to let her go because... Sissy.
Yeah, he goes on to a whole rant and rage about how she lost the case, right?
Well, no, they won, but GLKH said that the jury was obviously in favor of her because she saved her lives.
Yeah, saved their lives, yeah.
And my favorite thing was she was like, well, should I have just let the desk hit them in the face? And then, what would have happened? And then we see the title card, and it says, obviously, She-Hulk, attorney at law, but then the attorney at law part changes to attorney for hire, which I thought was kind of funny. I love when they always mess with title cards and shows to like represent what's actively happening. If you weren't paying attention, you
wouldn't have noticed that. Like, it would have been like really quick.
Yeah. Bruce calls in like with a little voicemail to check on how she's doing since she's lost her job.
Yeah. And then she goes on several interviews and obviously
gets
nobody wants to hire her.
I love that montage, like like camera style and camera work. It was very cool. Like, it was her in that chair, and like the lighting and the shadow and the spaces were changing. And I thought it was just.
But nobody
really
wants
unique.
to hire her, which is because she's She-Hulk.
Yeah, it should be a distraction to them, basically. And then she hangs out with Nikki, and they look for jobs. And her family calls her and tells them that they're going to do a family dinner. Which at this family dinner, they basically ask a bunch of questions about being a hero, but they also ask very valid questions that we also ask. The dad asks, what about that Hawkeye guy? Does he have to go around and collect his arrows? Which we learned in Hawkeye, yeah, he kind of does.
Some of them he does, yeah.
The special arrows he does have to go back and get.
Wasn't it Kate that said, what happens if you run out of arrows or something?
Well, like, right before the finale, he had no more of his special arrows because he had used them all.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously he'd have to get them custom made by, like,
go
Stark.
and get them or collect them or something. What's the matter?
Well, yeah, like, his arrows he had to get out of the storage facility at the police department or something.
Like after you used it, like.
Yeah. Which we do also, even in the Avengers movies, you see him running out of bows and things like that. So, I mean, hypothetically, if the show wants to get super meta and put Hawkeye in that universe, the dad could so get his answer. Which I do think it's funny that, like, she hasn't technically been a hero even yet, and the dad's like, it just assumes that she knows all the Avengers.
Yeah, she did like, one thing. So, yeah.
And which had no link to any actual Avengers. And they, all, like, their questions start to overlap, and it's funny because you hear them say, I can't tell who it is, but they say that, Bruce is like a real hero. He just snapped his finger and he saved half of the universe, which is true. He did do that.
Well, yeah, but it was funny because we said right before that, we're like, they're acting like Bruce was never the Hulk or never part of the Avengers and all like that. Like, why are they acting like this is the first time they've ever been encountered by like a super? But it doesn't seem like he comes around though either. So
well, the dad actually takes her into the garage to get like really check in with her, and he does say this isn't the first time they've had a Hulk in their family. Yeah. And at least she hasn't destroyed the city. And we do know at that table, it's her mom and dad, her cousin Ched, I think it is, Ched, and then an aunt and an uncle, and another aunt. So supposedly, or I would think, unless the mom has another sister.
No, I think they said one of them.
One of them has to be Bruce's like mom or mom and dad there, which is interesting. So I'm curious if we'll find out like which one is. Probably not, because it's not really that important, but I'd be interested to know, like, which one is his.
Yeah, Dad gives her a lot of advice, and, you know, she ends up telling him that she can't get a job, right? Because she said she got fired, but she tells him that she got fired because she's She-Hulk. She-Hulk, yeah.
And then she goes to the bar, which I forgot what the name of the bar is. It's something
Legal
like a lawyer.
Ease?
Legal Ease. I think it
is a legal term.
It's like a lawyer themed bar in a sense, and it's definitely going to be like like how
the
like
scales of justice with a like martini glass or something. I thought I saw it.
But like how all like sitcoms always have like the bar or the restaurant they go to. This is definitely going to be like She-Hulk's place to go. At the bar, though, Holloway shows up and he says that he's going to offer her a job, and she said, I will do it, but the only thing is I want my own paralegal, which is obviously Nikki. And once she arrives at work, he requests that she stays in Hulk form all the time because she's going to be leading the superhero law division.
Which I kind of felt bad for her because, like, she was so excited about. I mean, you knew there had to be a catch, but she was so excited, and then, like, to find out that they want her to stay in the Hulk form, which is like.
Which I did note down. I hate to say it because I was talking so highly about the CGI last week. I feel like this scene the most for me, I think, lacked in like quality for like CGI.
Really?
Like, it looked a little wonky, a little bit. I'm not saying it was absolutely horrible, but I think it wasn't as good as the first episode.
But I did like when she was walking, like she was talking, like she was
good
breaking,
there, sis.
She was breaking. No,
hold on, wait. Sis might be shaking the microphone. Her ear's itchy, guys. Hold on.
But she was breaking the fourth wall. She does that a lot, obviously, which they said they're going to do that, but she was telling us that she didn't.
Oh God, hold on. All right, nope. Sissy's ear's still not good. You want Molly to help you? Nope. Oh, she just pushed me away. All right,
she knows that ear ain't right.
It's your own ear. I'm not gonna help you. Sorry, what were you saying before that?
That she breaks the fourth wall, and she tells us that she doesn't like the idea of having to stay as She-Hulk because she obviously wants to be
recognized for her, her actual hair. Which I think if you like her breaking the fourth wall, I haven't watched Deadpool, but I know a lot about Deadpool, so you'll probably like Deadpool because that's like his big thing is breaking the fourth wall. Because I know when Birds of Prey came out, Sissy, this ear, get in there, girl. Everybody was like, Harley Quinn is copying Deadpool by breaking the fourth wall in Birds of Prey. But, so I know you'll probably like that. He's a little bit more crude humor. Oh my God, sissy. And then Pug shows up with a gift basket, and he says that he's also going to be working in the division. Do you know where you know that actor from?
No.
He was in...
It's not. Leave it alone.
Okay, hold on. He was in Arrow. He was the guy that Oliver got stranded on the island with. He was dressed up as the other Arrow, and he tried to kill him.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't picture the guy.
He didn't have a beard in that show. That's who he is, though, in case you're wondering.
But he comes with like a little like weird gift basket, like weird things like to welcome her, like the best bathroom or something like that.
To go pooping,
to go.
Which what's something that New Rockstars pointed out, that in the gift basket there's a mug that she already has in episode 1 on the back of her shelf. Something like Later Alligator or something. The mug, it's also in that gift basket. So either that's a very popular mug there, or I don't know. So she then has to go to a meeting with Holloway to get her first case. And her first case is for Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. He's from the Hulk movie, The Incredible Hulk. I think it's from 2008. Not many people I know have watched this. I haven't really watched it because I don't know where to watch it for free. And no offense, I don't want to pay for that movie. And I've watched like people recap it and talk about it that I feel like I know enough of it. And obviously she says she can't represent him because he tried to kill Bruce.
Yeah, got a conflict of interest there.
Yeah, and Holloway says that he's okay with her representing him.
He requested her personally.
Well, yeah, Bolonsky said that he signed one of those conflict waiver and that he wants her. And then she goes to the DODC, which is also where they held, I can't remember their name, from Miss Marvel. The clandestites in Miss Marvel. They were also, I guess, either at the same facility there. So I think this is maybe, I don't know where this is in the timeline anymore. Which I'll explain that in the end once we get to the end of the show, because I was talking to you about
it gets a little weird and confusing. Yeah.
So
she shows up as She-Hulk though, but they tell her she can't go in as She-Hulk, so she has to go in as herself. And then they tell her she has to sign a waiver if she becomes hurt or dead or gets killed by him.
And then while she's talking to him, he shares that he now chooses when he is going to transform.
Yeah, because she went in there and she was like expecting to see him in his form, and then when she saw him sitting there in like the chair, like in human form, she was like, "Why isn't he in the abomination?" And like, yeah, he goes on to tell her he met his 7 soulmates through the prison pen pal, and yeah, he wants to be with them, and so they're
gonna live in like a house or something.
Yeah, they're gonna he's gonna reform himself, which is interesting.
And then he says that he was under the government's control when he acted out because they had given him the super soldier serum, and he also wrote haikus for every one of his victims. And she told him that she will think about it. I think probably because she thinks she can work from the angle that the government kind of did this to him, which I don't really know if that will probably work. I think that'll probably end up getting her in trouble. And then back at home, she calls, I don't know how I spelled Bruce wrong, but I wrote Bruce. She calls Bruce to tell him that she's going to be representing Blonsky, and he says that it's okay and that she can take the case now because he is a completely different person, which, once again, being a little meta here, because when the Hulk actually fought Abomination last, Edward Norton was playing the Hulk. So now, like, the Hulk that would be encountering this Abomination is played by Mark Ruffalo. So literally, he's a completely different person now.
Yeah, and he says that he wrote him a nice letter, and that he forgave him and he's moved on.
He also asks her what they ended up naming her, and she says she got the She-Hulk, and she hopes it doesn't stick, like you were saying earlier. And then he says, well, then she asks him if he's coming to LA anytime soon.
Not to New York.
No, LA. She's in LA.
I thought she was in New York.
LA.
Why did I write New York?
No. LA. If he's going to be coming to LA anytime soon. And he shares that he has a couple things to take care of. And they zoom out of this window, and it's the Sicarian aircraft from the first episode. He is in space. I see a lot of people saying that he's going to his son to start the... is it the World of Hulks? There's like a comic storyline like that. Which I could probably see. Which this part here, well, that part will play into like why I'm saying the timeline's a little confusing in a second. She does tell Holloway though that she'll take the case.
Yeah, right as she calls him and tells him, he tells her to turn on the news and like. There he is in a fight club.
Yeah, a reporter says that he had Abomination had broken out of prison and that he was spotted in an underground fight club, which I'm pretty sure the clip that they show is literally the same exact one from Shang-Chi that we see in the movie.
Yeah.
And then we get a post-credit scene, which is just like her family forcing her to do like housework.
That just made no sense.
It was just something I think like fun. Which
back to the year.
Oh,
she is. Look at that mic shaking. You good?
Oh, she huffed.
I hope you heard the snuffing and huffing over there. My curious thing is, I want to know what these 7 soulmates are, because I think they're going to be something, and I'm trying to think, is there 7 somethings that like out there that like he's calling them soulmates, but like the Eternals, or not? I'm not saying the Eternals, but like, you know what I mean, like something
like a group.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, is
well, I know a lot of people are saying they're gonna have him probably join the Thunderbolts, so that would be like with Yelena and oh god, what was his name?
Well, that's
from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the other guy who was originally
Super Soldier. No, what's his name?
I don't remember what his name was. He was Captain America before Sam was. I don't remember what his name was.
American Soldier, American something. Damn it, what'd she call
U.S.
him?
Agent. U.S. Agent. Yeah. There you go. Him and Abomination, Yelena will all become like Thunderbolts.
Yeah, like are there 7 of them maybe?
Maybe. I'm trying to think who else could join them.
What is the group?
The Thunderbolts. So that would be led by Val. You know, the one who met with Yelena then. So while she's gonna look that up, but while I do that, so I tried to take note of the little timeline here because it gets kind of confusing seeing this scene that Abomination is in jail. So here's what I put down. So basically, a few months ago when she became She-Hulk, Bruce's arm was hurt and he was in human form using the inhibitor. And then he cured his arm with Jen's blood, and now he has to stay in Hulk form because the inhibitor's broken. And now after those few months, like in the present, we see him on a ship. Also in the present, we find out that Blonsky has broken out, is in the fight club with Wong. Now, if we're to assume that, like, let's just say maybe we think She-Hulk and Shang-Chi are playing out simultaneously, I think Shang-Chi probably only took a course of like 2 days, because after the fight club, that's like a night, so they probably spend like a day with the dad, and then they go to Talo, and let's just say they sleep over there at Talo. That's why I'm like giving it 2 to 3 days in total. Then they have to go back to LA, and that's where Shang-Chi meets with Wong, and Wong meets with I tried to subdue R2-D2 and he's still talking, but Wong has Shang-Chi meet with hologram versions of Captain Marvel and Bruce in human form with the inhibitor and his hurt arm. So how does that make any sense?
It really doesn't.
My only thing I could think is that Shang-Chi happened before this, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, She-Hulk plays out, right?
Uh-huh.
But the footage is old. Maybe that's what it is. Like, the footage just got leaked now. Like, with rumors and whispers that, like, he's trying to get released from prison. Like, maybe somebody had this footage and just decided to release it. Or maybe with, like, the height of Shang-Chi, right, fighting on the bus. That's why he was allowed into the fight club, was because he... Oh, Cooper doesn't agree. He was allowed in the fight club because of the bus footage, right? Yeah. So maybe people were looking up for more footage of Shang-Chi, and they found him fighting in the club with his sister. And they had also ended up finding footage of Abomination. I don't really know. Maybe we'll get this explained next week, but other than that, it doesn't quite mesh very well.
Well, it could be the Thunderbolts.
Interesting.
Because the reason I say this is because you have, they're saying that the people that they have is, so Valentina Allegra de Fontaine would be the head of it.
Yeah, she's gonna lead it.
You could count her. So then,
well, I don't know if she'd fight, but she'd be like
but it just could be somebody that
like in the group,
like trying to what am I calling it?
Like lead him?
Recruit him.
Yes, so she's kind of like the recruiter.
He might count her as one. Yelena would be 2. Mm-hmm. Baron Zemo is 3.
Yes, Baron Zemo. I forgot about him.
They're saying him. Abomination. Well, we don't count him because he's, talking about 7 other people. Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, I've heard about that too.
So that would be 4. And then the last 3, which I can do math, adds up, Last 3 would be maybe Bucky Barnes, they're saying. Possibly.
Maybe.
Hawkeye, they're saying.
Interesting.
Yes. And the last would be Daredevil, because they're saying that Daredevil's Disney Plus series entitled Daredevil Born Again, which has 18 episodes airing in spring 2024.
Yeah.
Could Big be stuff. It's part of the Phase 5. So that would be 7.
Yeah, maybe. Be interesting.
So that would be interesting, that if it's them trying to recruit him, perhaps, or like maybe just one of them contacted him, maybe Val contacted him, but she like has all of them helping her like pull him in or something.
Yeah.
I just thought that was like, I just feel
maybe.
like it has to be something.
Theorize it if it's out there. There's crazier theories that have people have said in Marvel.
I just feel like it's weird that he mentioned that and made a specific number.
Yeah.
Whenever they do that, it's usually something. So I thought,
All right. Well, that's all for our current watches, because there is no Housewives, as we said. We're going to get into our solo watches, but I'm going to go first this week because one of my solo watches you watched with me. So a little backstory. She ended up watching High School Musical, the series, episode 5 with me, because the past week when it was airing, it happened to air on my birthday, and she decided she was going to take off work for my birthday. So I was like, I'm not missing this show. I'm watching this as we eat some breakfast, and we ended up just continue playing it throughout, and she watched the whole thing now.
And at least it was an appropriate episode because it was Real Housewives.
Real Housewives.
Well, they used the Real Housewife
theme. Yeah.
What do they call it? I know it in writing. Damn it. Tropes, yeah. They use the Real Housewives trope.
Yeah, Carlos kind of pitches to everybody that they're going to do the Real Campers of Shallow Lake, which I think is so funny that their initials are really close to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I was like, it is quite close. I wonder if they did that on purpose. But then, like how you're saying with tropes, he applies everybody to have like their own like catchphrase, the like crier. I don't think he had a did he have a pot stirrer? I don't think he did. He had a therapist, jilted ex, bad boy. I don't know if he did.
I thought he did.
But those are some of the ones he has. He ends up making this is kind of like the biggest thing is Ricky, EJ, and Gina this episode. He makes Ricky the like jilted ex of Gina. Nobody realizing that Ricky and Gina had to confess to Ricky that she liked him, and that Ricky likes her. I don't think anybody knows that, like, out of the whole group, that Ricky likes her. So this kind of causes issues between the three of them.
Well, I think what was his name? EJ was the one that was looking for that semester break.
Yeah, the gap year. She was so focused on this gap year the whole time watching it too.
I think he suspects that Ricky still likes her.
No, yeah, I definitely think he's catching on to
someone that hasn't really watched it, so.
Yeah, and Gina ends up confronting EJ about, like, why did Val know and why didn't he just tell her about the gap year. They do finally figure out that Maddox and Jet are siblings after Carlos tried to, like, pair them up as, like, a couple, and she basically kind of goes off on Jet for, like, just all these things that he's done to her.
Yeah, like abandoning her.
Yeah. So finally everybody knows that they are... She's scanning her hair right now. What do you...
I saw a little follicle. I was a little concerned.
Oh. And then they also had this checklist...
Sorry?
They also had a checklist of things they wanted to do. It was like cry, slap.
Yeah, he had a weird checklist. He had like a little
and then
whiteboard.
There was a third one, yeah. And
cry, slap.
What was the third one?
A hidden secret. Be like heard off mic.
Yeah, here get caught on like a hot mic, which that's kind of the most important. That's where I was trying to get to. There was another one too. I can't remember what it was. But it was basically after they think the cameraman had left, and he was like, "You guys did really great here." Ricky sits down with Carlos and admits to him.
Where do you watch this on?
Disney Plus.
Oh, why do I not know this? I should know.
Ricky basically ends up admitting to Carlos that he has feelings for Gina, and of course the cameraman catches it on camera, which, I mean, like, they won't really know until this airs, but I'm sure they will probably, like, the finale will be, like, airing the documentary in the season, like, at the finale for the season, I would assume. Well, usually it's, like, the play, but maybe the play will be the second to last.
It would probably start with that, like, where they would show
I think you're on. Are you on episode 1 there?
5.
Oh,
season 1.
Yeah, there you go. I saw Olivia Rodrigo, and I was like, wait, what happened at the end too? EJ called in help. Remember?
Wait, what?
Was it EJ? He said he's gonna call in for some help.
He's gonna call in for help.
Help, yeah. Remember?
He called his own thing. He called somebody.
Go to the end of the episode.
Can you just wait a minute, then?
You can go to the end of the episode because that's when he checks the list off too.
Yeah, but I wanted to see something else too.
Oh. I think it was EJ. You'll have to confirm for me, but he basically says he's gonna call somebody in for, like, help. Oh crap! I was like, maybe it's Olivia Rodrigo. Why am I can't pronounce her last name? Whatever, Nene. I thought maybe it was Nene, even though I know they said.
So he's got a judgy one, a jilted ex.
Oh, she's reading off the trope board.
A crier, someone with a dark past, someone with a catchphrase.
Yeah.
A shrink, a bad boy, and an instigator. So pot stirrer, yes.
Yeah, pot stirrer, basically. I was like, there's no way there's not a pot stirrer.
He's claiming this is the formula that works.
Which it's true, it is. No, what I was saying, though, was I think it's EJ. I was originally assuming he was calling in Nene because I was like, there's no way that she was in 2 episodes and she's fully on the poster. I refuse to believe that. But now I'm thinking he's probably going to call Miss Jen. That's who he's calling, is Miss Jen. Miss Jen's their teacher. She was only in one episode.
It was a cry or a slap. Oh, throw a drink.
Throw a drink.
And get caught on mic.
Yeah.
Saying
something. Scroll to the end. See if it's EJ who calls somebody. I can't remember.
It was EJ. He was in the camp counselor room, see?
Okay. Yeah.
He says, how quickly can you get here?
See, it can't be Nene because Nene's in California, so I think it's probably Miss Jen.
But they made it look like he'd be calling the ex, maybe, I think. And
well,
what do I know?
I don't know. It's probably Miss Jen now that I think about it. All right. So, I also watched Paper Girls. It's quite a bit. A lot happens in this show, and I'm gonna be honest. I told you while I was watching it, I'm kind of just like, what's going on here? I was very confused. I was a little lost because it is kind of confusing and a little lost. But after I said that, it kind of took a turn and they started explaining things. I didn't even really truly know why I wanted to watch the show. I just heard people talking about it and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. It's Sissy's playing with her paper, which you're probably like, oh, she's ripping it up. Look at her. She looks like a beast.
Because it's time to EAT in her mind.
Oh, spit it out. Oh, we gotta go deal with her. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back. The cats have been fed, and now they will be quiet and controlled
for a little bit.
So I don't know where I left off, but
you didn't really start.
Okay, no, I didn't think so. So without you, I did actually watch one show. I watched one whole show, and I watched one episode of the show. So I watched all of Paper Girls, and I watched the first episode of Dead to Me. My original plan was to watch.
Oh, you did watch Dead to Me, really?
My original plan was to watch.
Both of us went off book with shows, so we did not mention that we were going to.
No, I did say I was going to watch Dead to Me as my backup show. So my plan was to originally, at first I was going to watch, just the first episodes of Paper Girls, Dead to Me, and Breaking Bad. But then I looked at Breaking Bad. It was in 58 minutes. So I was like, you know what? I could actually probably. It doesn't equate at all, the math, but I was like, I could finish all of Paper Girls, watch the first episode of Dead to Me, and at least get that done. So I'm not talking about Paper Girls and then having to come back next week. So I'll just finish Paper Girls. I'm going to share my first thoughts on Dead to Me. I'm definitely probably going to watch the second episode of that. I'll get into that there. And then Breaking Bad, hopefully I'll get into next week. Because I'm being pressured in my own personal life by people to watch Breaking Bad. What in the hell did I spill all this water down my shirt?
I don't know.
Oh my god, wait, look at my pockets filled up with water. Oh my god, thank god we don't have a camera. Alright. So, The Paper Girls. If you don't know, it's originally a comic book series. So I actually might check out my local comic book shop and see if they have it, because I just want to see what it looks like. I think they obviously, because it's a Prime show, it's on Amazon Prime, in case anybody didn't know. They of course link it to the Amazon store for you to buy it. But basically, obviously, like I said, it's about 4 paper girls. So Erin is the newest girl to join the local paper girls, and she meets Tiffany, who throughout the show goes by Tiff, Mac, and KJ, and they deliver papers on Hell Day, which is the day after Halloween, so November 1st, and this takes place in 1988. Basically, throughout the night/morning, they get harassed by these bullies, and Tiff gave Erin one of her walkie-talkies, and they steal it, and they get they track the walkie-talkie to this unfinished house where they find these 2 men in hoods, and they end up running to Mac's house for safety, and then the sky turns pink, and they kind of all start to freak out, and Mac gets this pistol that I guess her family has and accidentally shoots Erin when she gets scared. And then
one of her own friends?
Yeah, on accident. She got on accident. She got scared and
she
shot her. Yeah, so they try to get the girl Erin to the hospital, but they end up getting captured by the people in the hoods.
Why are these people coming for them? Do they ever get to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once they get them to the forest, they get attacked by these mystery people, and the girls do end up escaping, and Erin gets healed by these little robotic bugs that heal you or something. And the hooded men give Tiff this device or something. And
so are they bad? Doesn't seem at this the hooded men?
Well, there are 2 groups. There's the FTF and then the Old Watch. And Honestly, this kind of weirdly reminds me of Loki because they're trying to protect like the timeline in a sense. These people from getting like destroyed. Like they can't just keep having people like mess around with the timeline because it rewrites the timeline. But one thing I think is funny is they constantly, which you'll see at the end of this episode, they go to Erin's house because she wants to go check on her mom because her mom doesn't speak very good English.
Wait, is Erin the one that just got hit with the gun?
Yeah, but she's healed now because robotic bugs healed her.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So she wants to go check on her mom, but when she goes there, it's her older self living in her her house, which I think it's funny that like I feel like general rule of thumb with time traveling, it's always like you can't interact with your older self or your younger self because it messes up the timeline. But they very much hang out with their older selves like a lot, and like they know what happens themselves. So in episode 2, Erin kind of is disappointed like with who her future self had became, and she also found out that her mom had passed away 3 decades ago. And the future they're in is 2019, so I'm just gonna assume that that's when this show is probably recorded, and that's when they meant for like it to originally be released, but it took.
So she didn't stay in that future. She's back now, or no?
Not yet. They get.
She's
confused.
still in the future thing.
Which one?
That girl is still in the future with her future self that she's disappointed with.
Yeah. So at the end of the episode, they get time traveled into 2019,
Okay.
and she meets her future self, and she's kind of like disappointed with her. And they all fight with the adult Erin, and they end up leaving to go find the adult version of the girl, Tiffany. What?
The microphone's gonna fall.
No, not our microphone, the cat's toy microphone. So when they go to find the adult version of Tiffany, they kind of realize they had left the device with Erin, and Erin had somehow accidentally turned on the device and has now linked with the device, and she can like see like how Iron Man sees like the heads up display in his like goggles, like she sees that like in her eyes. Yeah. And then
this is the device that sends them to the future and back and forth.
No.
What is this device?
This is just, you'll see what this device is. It
ahead.
gets confusing.
Getting ahead of you.
How do you say that? How do you think you say this? The processor? Prioressor? I don't know how you say it. Prioress? I don't remember. She is. Oh, I told you.
It's a word that sounds like they created.
I showed you that I said she's from the 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember her name now in the 100, but that's who the character is. She kind of is the one in charge of like hunting down the girl. She's really good in this. She was good in the 100 too. Indra in the 100. Yes, she is the same actress here. I was so shocked when I saw her in this, but
it does not look like her because I did see.
Okay, well, when you saw her, she was like supposed to. She usually has like white sleek outfit on with like her shaved head, kind of like in the 100. But when you saw her, she had like a wig on because she was trying to fit in.
Just really didn't look like her.
So the processor.
It's Prior S.
Prior S. We'll go with Prior S.
It's
sorry.
the name that clearly they made up.
Yeah.
That's not
basically,
a real word.
she has one of the girl KJ's field hockey stick that in the ending of the first episode, she accidentally killed one of the members of the old watch with, and basically, she's looking up how you pronounce it.
Oh, see, a prioress is a woman who is the head of a house of a certain order of nuns.
Yeah, well, that's what she kind of is. So how do you say it?
Prioress.
Prioress.
Wait, let's see. She can tell. She'll say it for me. Oh wait, I don't have my sound on. Hold on.
No, you should go from the wheel.
No, I took it off.
Oh.
Prioress.
Sorry, this took some. Okay.
Sorry. But it does when I googled that word, like initially, it's gone now. But when I put that word in, it was linking right to your show, and we all know I haven't done anything to look up your show. So yeah.
So basically, she takes the hockey stick and shows KJ's parents. I think her parents in the future, and kills her parents. And then in episode 3, we meet Larry, who's part of the.
Sorry, he's gonna talk. Sorry.
Aaron of the STF, which is kind of like the people going against the old watch, and we see him in
the old watch is the good people.
Well, I'm still kind of confused on who's good or bad. If it's the STF
which one is she with?
The prioress is with the Old Watch. So they kind of make you believe that they're the bad ones. They're definitely the bad ones, but they the Old Watch kind of makes you want to think that the STF is the bad people. But we see him in 1988.
I'm gonna lay the prediction. It's the Old Watch. That's the bad people.
Yeah, it pretty much is, I think. He has to like record his memories because every time this pink light goes off in the sky, it wipes the town's memory. Kind of like how Loki, they would put the little time bombs and they would clear everything. That's kind of what they do to like reset the timeline, in a sense. And in 2019, Mac meets up with her brother Dylan, who she didn't have like a great relationship with when she was younger, and she finds out that he became a doctor, and he tells her that she died 27 years ago for him. She had gotten cancer when she was like 16. So then the group tries to go and get Mac, but adult Erin gets kidnapped by Larry, and then the girls kind of like follow him in her car. And once they're at his farm, they show him the device, and he realizes that his friends Heck and Naldo, who are the two hooded men from the first episode, gave it to them. And he tells them that there's an ongoing time war between the Old Watch and STF, and he shows them a giant robot. That's what the device is for. He basically tells her that he tells adult Erin that the device is linked to is that she has to like pilot this robot to 1999, but Tiff says let's just go back to 1988, and then they can go back in the correct place in the timeline, and they can also prevent the death of Heck and Naldo. They go and get Mac while she's being tracked down by the pirates, and once they regroup, they get in the robot, they go through a time fold, and they end up in the year 1999 on the 4th of July.
He's gonna talk again.
Erin.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So once they come through this time fold, though, Larry ends up getting killed by the Old Watch's robot that followed them there, and then Erin sacrifices herself in a robot fight. This is where I was telling you, I'm like, what the hell is going on this show? Because I'm so confused. And then Tiff goes and gets this like backpack that Larry had, which has all the codes of when the time folds have been happening since he first noticed them back in like 1988. So he knows when all of them.
So do you think anybody's missing their papers?
What do you mean papers?
Aren't they paper girls? Like that deliver paper?
I guess, but technically to them, they do grow up to be an adult. Because adult Erin says that they don't even end up going, like, in her timeline, she doesn't even make it past the first day of being a paper girl. Like, she basically stops the next day on November 2nd.
Oh, I'm just curious, like, because that's, like, again, one of those little things where you're like, do the people not know she's missing? How do they not know she's not missing?
I don't know. And then the Old Watch uses...
Spaghetti and meatballs would be good.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry, I just thought about that. Go ahead.
The Old Watch goes to wipe the town's memory, but it doesn't affect the girls because there's something clearly going on with them that this timeline stuff doesn't really affect them.
Is this the show that you were saying that they can wipe your work memory from your...
No, that's Severance.
Oh, that's right.
We were doing some research on the Emmys. That's Severance now.
Okay.
They end up going to KJ's house, and Tiff to get supplies, and then Tiff calls her adult self, and in the next episode, she meets up with I think I scrolled down too far. Hold on. Oh, she meets up with her adult self and kind of explains the situation, but she's not like her adult self. She's more like college version of herself. They called her adult Tiff.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit? It's very far off the mark, but like, you know how you said, oh, they say you're not supposed to talk to yourself in that timeline. It kind of reminds me of Back to the Future, where Marty had to go and talk to the professor to get his help.
Yeah.
Because the other professor was like knocked out or something like that, so he went to the
other second one.
Yeah, and explained to him in his timeline, like, I need your help to help. You've already created
or maybe
this.
It was
like
the third one.
And it was one of them. I don't know which one.
It was
one
second
of them,
or third.
but he had to go and ask for her help.
But it's like they can interact with themselves, and they've never cleared that up, and it's kind of weird.
I guess they don't take the information and stray from the timeline.
Well, okay, so the Old Watch wants to wipe their mind. But these girls, one knows she's gonna die. The other one ends up finding out that her adult self, Tiff, tells her that she was adopted and she got kicked out of MIT. So, like, she kind of tells her quite a bit about, like, what... most of them know things that happened to them, like, in the,
See, that's a tricky
future.
one, because if you believe in, like, what will be, then, like, let's say she's getting kicked out of MIT, for the sake of just an idea. Let's say she's getting kicked out of MIT on, like, March 31st of, 2020, whatever it is. So, let's just say that, like... Well, no, if she's at 2019, it would have been before that. So let's just say whatever.
This was 1988.
Oh, 1988.
No, 1999, sorry. Oops, sorry, I had to play my laptop.
But they're where now? They're in 2019.
No. So they originally traveled from 1988 to 2019. And then in 2019, the girls they were supposed to, Larry said he's going to take them back to 1988, but he lied to them and took them back to 1999. So now they're like 11 years from when they were supposed to be.
But I'm just saying, like, let's just say you're supposed to get kicked out of on a certain date, and you avoid that date. Like, if you believe in, like, what was meant to be will be, it might not happen that day.
Yeah.
But it'll happen,
Yeah, I don't know.
On another day. But who's to say I don't know what their stance is on all that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's still kind of confusing on, like...
How many episodes are there in total, do you know?
There's 8. I'm just going to try to go through the little bit more important parts. So, Larry then finds Erin's bike kind of randomly appearing.
Alright, I'm just giving up on him. I'm sorry.
Well, you are on 98.
I don't really need to keep him charged, but go ahead.
So Tiff and Erin... No, Tiff and adult Tiff basically go to Larry, try to explain him the situation, because he's not fully part of the STF really yet. Like, he's only newly into it.
Question here. Is it the same actress playing the same role, only looking older or something?
No, it's a different They're different actresses.
That's interesting. That's what I was wondering.
And then...
that makes it easier to play those roles,
I will say the adult Erin and, like, young Erin look very decently. Like, I don't know if it's, like, the haircut. Like, they both have really same bangs and everything. Like, adult Tiff and younger Tiff, I think, are supposed to look a little bit different because, like, one has, like, blue hair. I think it's just because, like, she's trying to show, like, she... rebelled, I guess you could say. Let me pull it together.
Pull it together.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to see. So basically, though, the sky turning pink with Larry when the things are falling out is a time anomaly, and it starts sucking things from their trips from 1988 and 2019 coming through, and they call it a Class 2 time rip. So the whole group ends up meeting at the farm with Erin, and they find out that a recon droid was from the old watch, what was it? Old watch was sent to, like, find them. Through the anomaly, though, comes one of the walkie-talkies that I had mentioned earlier, and they know that Heckle and Naldo are the two that stole the walkie-talkie, so they try to call them and prevent them from dying and coming to where they are in, like, 1999. But they hear their own voices on the walkie-talkies and find out that they're in, like, a sort of time loop, in a sense.
Okay.
Very confusing.
Yes. It really is. Like, I mean, I hope that watching it would be easier, because listening to it,
I was confused.
It sounds like...
Let me just say, then the prioress and grandfather, who's, like, the highest, kind of, like, controls the timeline. They come and find KJ and Mac and tell them that the old watch is preventing STF from, like, messing up the timeline, kind of turning it, like, how I was saying, on them, looking like the bad guys. KJ and Mac escape from them and meet back up with, like, Erin and Tiff, and Larry gets killed by the grandfather's dinosaur. Yep, dinosaurs, giant robots. Do
you think it's because when they go back in time and forward, they're bringing things back with them, maybe?
Yeah, like, I think the grandfather's just made, like, this dinosaur, like, his... I don't know. It is quite
Like, I wonder if
confusing.
they can bring stuff back with them, and that's how they're doing that.
Mac does finally tell the rest of the girls, though, that she's gonna have cancer and die in a few years. And they surrender to the old watch, but the Pirates betrays the old watch and helps them escape. But they accidentally get split up. Mac and KJ, and then Erin and Tiff they both go into those two groups. And the show ends with Aaron and Tiff realizing that they're in the 1970s. I honestly don't know if I'll watch the second. If there is, I don't know if there's a second season yet, but if there's, I don't know. You hear how confusing this is. I tried my best. I know people are going to be like, you forgot this, this doesn't make any sense. Quite frankly, I know.
It does sound confusing though.
I might just get the comic book and read it. Maybe it would be more clear. Okay, this is my last one I watched on my own. I watched Dead to Me, which I should have taken note of the other actresses' names. In Paper Girls, but this one, the show starts with Jen, played by Christina Applegate, meeting with Judy, who is played by Linda. How do you say her?
Farentino something.
I thought it was Linda Cardellini.
Cardellini. I knew it was like an Italian. That's why I was making something.
I thought it was, but I just felt like if I went for it, it would come out right. They basically meet up at this brief meeting, and Judy.
Close. I said something Enioni.
I thought you said Fariotti.
I said Farentino.
But
I was close. You said Cardellino or something.
So, Judy ends up says that she had seen Jen on a real estate bench because Jen is a real estate agent. And at the meeting, Judy says that she had lost her husband 8 weeks ago to a heart attack. And the leader of
I couldn't get past the first one.
It's not that great.
I couldn't get past. This is how much I can remember. She opened the door. The girl was there, right?
With the casserole?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love that because it's not important.
And then she was having a barbecue or a party?
No, it's the grief meeting is next.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. Couldn't get past that.
So they go to a grief meeting.
Couldn't get past it.
And Jen, basically the leader, it's like a pastor thing. He's talking about.
I think in my head I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Or something.
He talks about like, forgiveness. And Jen asks, how can you forget somebody who hits your husband? Her husband's name is Ted, and then just leaves him there to bleed.
Is that what this girl did?
Who? No, she's saying how she doesn't know. Jen doesn't know, like, how can she forgive somebody who did that to her husband? Yeah. So at the end of the meeting, Judy ends up giving Jen her number, and Jen kind of struggles to fall asleep at night. So she ends up just calling Judy, and they talk about their husbands until Jen ends up falling asleep, and you kind of just see them go through their day. They go to the grief meeting again together, and then they call each other at night, and then they end up meeting up. I think it's the same night. They didn't really specify it was the same night, to watch Facts of Life, because while they were on the phone, they discovered that it was on, so they met up to watch it. And then
Great show.
And then I think Judy's like, dog was running by. Judy's like, how do you like meditate? And like Jen's was like listening to like rock music in the car, and she pulls over.
That's not meditating. Okay, Jen, go ahead.
And she like with Judy, and she examines a car. And Judy's like, do you just stop and look at cars? And she's like, I do look at all cars that have person-sized dents in them, basically. Like, because obviously her husband was a hit and run.
So she just is going to accuse everybody, I guess.
Jen decides that she wants to go over to Judy's house for the first time because she's only ever had, like, Judy over. So she feels bad. So she's
Did
like,
they say how Judy's husband died?
Heart attack. 8 weeks ago, which is important.
At the same time that her husband died?
You'll see. So
I'm going to make a prediction that her husband had a heart attack, hit that husband, and that's what happened.
I mean, no. But no, wait, I was going to say maybe, but that is a good one. So you'll see right now. So she said, Judy's like, how do you know where I live? And she's like, you sent me a house when we were first talking of your husband. And I know that house. I know where it's from because she's obviously a real estate agent. So she shows up the house and she rings the doorbell, and Steve, Judy's husband, is alive and picks up the doorbell.
So her husband's
and he says that they had broken up 2 months ago. Basically, Judy said he had died 8 months ago from a heart attack.
Oh, so in her mind he died, yeah.
And he tells her to tell Judy that she should stop coming around, and he's going to change the locks. And then the next day, Jen goes and confronts Judy at the grief meeting, and she tells the group that he broke up with her because they were trying to get pregnant, but she just kept having, like, I think she ended up having 5 miscarriages. Oh, and then Jen goes and, like, visits Judy she lives at an assisted living place. Like, she works there and lives there. And she offers her to come live in her guest house. And then we see Jen help Steve sell this house that he lives in, Judy's ex. And then we see Judy go to a storage facility to, like, get clothes and stuff. And in the storage facility is a car with a human-sized dent in the front. So we're left to assume that Judy hit probably her husband, and that's why she's trying to get close to her. Because there was also another scene where she says like, Jen says that she's like from New York, and Judy's like, I didn't know you were from New York. Like, how did I not know that? Like, she like researched her or something. Yeah. Will I watch a second episode? I'll try it. Honestly, I thought the first one was like a little like edited cut weird. Like, I could see why you couldn't get past it. Yeah. But I always will try to finish at least the one episode, and I hate not finishing a show. So I'll probably finish it, and then I'll watch Breaking Bad. There's 2 seasons.
So you'll waste your time watching something that you don't want to watch.
Not that I don't want to watch, but I'm going to give it a try. It's literally called pilot episode, and all pilot episodes are not great, in my opinion. So I'll see if the second episode gets better. If I don't like the first season, I'm definitely not watching the second season. I'm sorry, Velma, but I can't if I don't like it. But, yeah. Okay, what did you watch?
Well, I didn't have as much time on my hands, which you would have thought I would have had more time on my hands. Because
she was on vacation.
I was on vacation for, like...
Her vacation messed up my watching time.
It was like 4 days out of the week. So sorry. You would have thought I would have had more time, but no, it didn't work, especially without Beverly Hills and all like that. But so I watched my Love Island, of course, for this week, USA, and I watched Southern Charm. I thought, for some reason, I watched Southern Charm back in the day, and I thought that Southern Charm on Bravo had ended somehow, because when COVID happened, like somewhere along the lines, like it kind of like dropped off, and I don't know, where they were, it was a bad area of COVID, so people they even talk about it in the show, that people were not like on the season 7 reunion, they were talking about how people were not taking it serious there, and even the Bravo celebrities, as they like to call them, that's on Southern Charm, said they weren't taking it seriously, and they all got COVID, so there you go. But
I don't know a single Bravo celebrity that hasn't gotten COVID.
I know. But as far as Love Island goes, it is second to last week, basically. Next week. Well, actually, I think tomorrow night, which I wish I could have put it, but I won't be able to. Tomorrow night is, like, I think the finale.
Maybe share our thoughts on our Instagram story.
Yeah.
We watch it all.
I mean, what they did, which was weird, for the UK one, I watched the finale and put that in there, that who won, but then they did the reunion, like, I don't know if it was like a week or a week and a half later, but the reunion was only a week later to the UK people, so it was, like, weird. Like, what kind of reunion is that? Like, obviously everybody's still together.
A week later from when they finished?
The finale, yeah, from the finale.
Did they finish filming, or like when the last...
No, it was from... Because she even made the comment of, like, the girl that does the commentary, she was saying, like, I know it's only been a week, but how's it been being outside in the real world? And it's like, do a month at least, because honestly, when you look at these folks that come out of there, they are already getting bombarded with, like, deals and, like, things like that nature. But they're busy doing that, and they haven't even gotten a chance to get back into anything of their real life to see, are they still together? Are they going to be together? What's their plan?
But the best part about, like, Bravo reunions are, like, yes, they have to film them before the show's, like, finished airing, but they've seen enough this season to know what people are, like, saying behind their backs, where if you're filming, like, a week after you finished filming already, like, you don't really know what happened behind the scenes.
No, but I think it's a couple of weeks after it ends, the Bravo one, like, those shows. I think that it is a little...
Well, it's like right before the finale. Like, they show them the clips on the Bravo reunion.
I think they get to see the whole thing. Like, I think it's, like, a little bit after the reunion. Like, it's, like, a month or something. I think they say that it's a little bit after the reunion, after the season finale.
Not like, no, not when we see the season finale.
No, I know. The season finale for us is the next week. But for them, I think it is, like, a month. Like, they've had a month in between the final.
But if you think about it, Bravo, they have not filmed the Beverly Hills Housewives reunion yet, right? So they're all watching it play out, like, on TV right now as we're watching it too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but, like, for them,
they don't film until it's over.
Yeah, or, like, I think it's like a few weeks.
That's
what I'm saying. It's like a week.
This was over, but it was over. But the sad part is, like, they're just doing a reunion to see where they're at in life, like, to see are they still together. That's
I'm just saying, like, what if you had seen that somebody had cheated on you behind the scenes?
No, I know.
Like, you can't see that because it's only been a week since you finished.
But you get to go home and your family can tell you all that stuff, basically. But this week...
Oh, it airs live?
Oh, yeah. So, like, this week was this week they had Family Day, so the family has been watching, and typically the family...
I thought it was pre-filmed. Like, they're right now, like, in the U.S., they're on Love Island right now.
I think it was over tonight, so they might not be.
No, but that's what I meant. Like,
yeah, but like it's current.
Oh, it's like Big Brother then.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I thought it was kind of pre-filmed.
Yeah, it's like Friday night was the night to vote for your people, so that tonight.
Oh yeah, how the hell would you vote for the people if
tonight,
it's not live?
The one that's going to air tonight, which I can't watch, I have to wait till tomorrow, I believe is the finale. So tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll be able to see the finale.
Why? Where does it air? I thought it was Peacock exclusive.
No, but it's live. It's on live TV. It's like a live thing.
So it still is on live stream?
Yeah, so I have to wait for it to come on the next day, which is fine because I'm always kind of like at that point. Like I watched today, so now I'll watch tomorrow, and it's like I'm kind of watching it live in my mind, even though it's not. So
like you never watch TV live because we can never stay up late enough for it.
Like this week they had a lot of like games, and this week was a lot of like eye openers for a lot of people. They had Let's Face It, which is always the best. It's when they take tweets from the public about their the couples, because we're watching it, so people make not nice comments, people make truthful comments, people mention things that have happened that they don't know happened, because like there was something that happened in like Casa Amor where this one Isaiah that I was telling you about brought this other girl back, and Sydney, he made a comment about, he wasn't comparing her, which is like sucks because they do only give you like a snippet of it. He commented about the girl that he brought back from Casa Amor had natural beauty. She didn't wear a lot of makeup. The girl that he's with wears a lot of makeup. So he made a comment about her natural beauty, and they made it look like he was comparing her to the girl that he was with in Love Island. So of course this girl got upset because she's like, well, what do you think, I'm not pretty in comparison to her? And like it was just a disaster. There was like a bunch of those type of things that went on, and like there was a couple of them where like another couple that's very popular, Deb and Jeff, like Jess, somebody said something about, how does this couple not, and that's the thing, it's like they'll say the tweet, they'll be like, how does this couple not realize that it's a one-sided relationship and he's more into her than she is into him, and then they have to guess, so they had sticks with faces, like you have to hold up who you think they're talking about, and then like it's also like, so they make it fun like that too, which is not fun for them because it makes them all start thinking like, well wait, if the public is seeing this, is this really like happening or whatever? So you had a lot of people after that thing questioning their relationships. Then they had peacocking, which was where the women had to sculpt the men's private parts, and then the men had to come and sculpt their own private parts and see if they matched up. It was very weird. Naja and Jeff won that one, which it was just a weird, funny one. Then they had also the next day they had another challenge. This week they had a lot of challenges. They had caking in love or something. And the Islanders, they make them do these stupid obstacle courses, which I think I told you.
Yeah, I think I've seen one, but not from like a little.
But it gives them no like they win nothing. They win nothing. They just win, but they win nothing. They had to run through they had to carry this huge blocks of like cake that were like cut up through this hole, and like they were getting hit by like bells or something like that. And then they had to come through and stick their face in cake and like pull out some kind of rubber ducky or something that was supposed to go. It was just gross. I was just like, ugh. I can't stand when they do stuff like that where they have to like smash their face into cakes and stuff. Phoebe and Joel won that one. They weren't even a couple. Like they were a couple, but they didn't even like each other. They realized that they were placed together. The whole time Isaiah's trying to win Sydney back. It's ridiculous. Trying to explain to her the comments mean nothing. He decides he's going to ask her to be his girlfriend, which is a very big thing for anybody that watches Love Island. We all know it's a big thing if they get exclusive or girlfriend. So he decides he's going to ask her to be his girlfriend. He gets Timmy and Jess to help him, and they make a meal, the whole bit, and they take her to the treehouse, and he asks her, and of course she's a sucker, she falls for it. Listen, I like Isaiah, but this guy is, in my opinion, I feel like he's kind of playing this girl, and I feel like in the end we're going to find out that they don't last together, because it's just, I feel like he's in it for the game. He even called himself an F-boy. You're on the wrong show, my friend. That was HBO. But he made a comment about it. He doesn't really think, how could an F-boy finally actually find somebody? I'm not buying it. And then you have a public vote, which happened, which ended up putting two couples in the bottom two, which was Joel and Phoebe and Chad and Mackenzie. And it was supposed to be the two that public felt was least compatible, which that was them, because Phoebe was trying to get with Chad and Joel was trying to get with Mackenzie, so they were opposite. They needed a recoupling, but in the end Mackenzie realized her time was done here. Mackenzie was from second season Love Island. she was like, she volunteered to go so that Phoebe could stay because they voted off Joel, which meant Phoebe would go. But she knew that Chad and Phoebe had a connection, so she said, it's my time, I'm leaving. So she left so they could be together, which I thought was nice. And it was her birthday that day, so it was kind of sucky she left on her birthday, but hey, that was her choice. And then the second to last event was the fake babies. Nothing beats when the fake babies come on the scene. They give them those crying babies that they have to like feed, change their diaper, the whole bit burp, take care of. Isaiah and Sydney were tortured with twins, but they actually did the best and won. Like this, they do give somebody like a winner, and they were the two that were the top, and they had twins, so they were like, look at us. And then poor Jess, this poor girl Deb has been like so unsure about this guy. He asks her to be his girlfriend, and she says no. She wants to wait till they get outside, which I understand because she's not sure about him, and he's crushed, of course, and then talks about this the whole time for the rest of the thing. And then of course it's family day at the villa. That's the final thing that happened on Friday, was family day, where unfortunately the people normally come, but they didn't come this time. So I guess it had something to do with COVID still, because it could have been like a resurgent or monkeypox or whatever was going on. I don't know.
You know what? They might have not been able to get everybody in time to like quarantine before they.
Well, it is very hard because I'm assuming you have to have these people quarantined for 2 weeks or whatever.
Or somebody might have shown up and had a positive test. The family.
I don't know, but I think it's better because they were able to have more people. Like the one girl, she had her parents, but then her brother was on the other Zoom call. So like you were able to have more people show up to the thing. So like that was nice.
Or maybe they couldn't get some people's family to come to their.
I don't know. It could have just been that some people. I don't know where they are. Like where this Love Island is. The other one always mentions where they are. This one didn't, but they're not around. They're not around here somewhere. I don't know where they are. But it seemed like all the families, which usually have somebody that has like some kind of like beef with, like one parent has a beef with somebody. But even Isaiah, the one that did everybody wrong.
R2D2?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. You have him hidden somewhere. Even the one that like did everything right. His like the girl's mom was still like, it was her mom and her sister that came on. They were still like, she's telling her, listen, he never compared you to Phoebe. He made a comment about her natural beauty, but not in comparison to you. Like she was sticking up for him, and I'm like, oh my god, your mom needs to be on your side. Like I don't know what she's doing, but nobody seemed to have like a big problem. Of course, this day ends with a vote because now you're down to the final 4. You have to be down to the final 4, and there's 5 couples. So usually they have the public vote to take the last one out, and instead this time they made the Islanders vote, and it became like such a big to-do because they voted Chad and Phoebe off, and Jeff, who was there with Naja, had a problem because it ended up being the last 4 couples was going to be Jeff, Naja, Deb, and Jess, who are having like a lot of problems, Isaiah and Sydney, and then Zeta and Timmy, who I think are going to win it. I think those 2 are going to win it. That's my prediction. Zeta and Timmy. Jeff got all pissed because he said it was like...
Oh yeah, just so people know, we're recording this on Saturday, August 27th, so people can't say you guessed it and you didn't know it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have to pre-record them. So yeah, when you're listening to this on Monday, just know.
Yeah.
She has not seen it.
No. So he got all pissed because he said that they voted Phoebe and Chad off when they were actually had more of a connection and more progress in the short time they were together than some of the other couples like Jess and Deb, who are already taking like steps backwards. And he felt they should have went home, but because he's friends with the other 2 guys, they kept him. So he started like a whole big thing. But the sad part is, it made the girl that he was with realize like, this is ridiculous. He like was starting a fight. Like he went up to the other guy and got like in his face and all like that. Like they started doing this like bro thing, and in turn it backfired on him because she said, this is not what I wanted. I don't think this is a relationship I wanted, and she volunteered to leave. So she said, I think my time here at Love Island is over, and I think I need to go, which means he has to go because he's got nobody to couple up with. He had to go, and so now it's just 3 finalists instead of 4.
Which is 2 couples left.
Yeah, 2 couples left, which is really sad because the other couple could have stayed and had a chance to win, because now she ended up leaving like literally basically the same next morning she left with him. So it's like, it was really sad because the other couple could have stayed. So tonight is the finale, so I'll watch that and maybe I'll give you whether or not I win or lose a prediction.
Share it on your Instagram story.
Yeah. So, well, I could say it next week too. I did not watch Good Trouble. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Speaking of Good Trouble, somebody posted on TikTok the clip you were talking about of Tila Dunn. Yeah. I saw it on there. Somebody said Tila Dunn is the only person they know that has ever gone from an actress to an influencer. Because I do forget, she was an actress before. She was on, I think she was on Awesomeness TV. That was, her acting stuff. Mm-hmm. But I saw the clip that you were talking about. I couldn't recognize a single person in that cast besides Mariana.
Well, the clip she's in, it's with 3 girls that worked with her in that old company she worked with.
So I don't know what company that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't know any of these girls, and they're not regulars. They're only there when Mariana's filming about her job, so it's not.
Yeah, I didn't. It was just that one, and obviously I know Tila Dunn because she was with all the YouTube girlies.
Yeah, no.
But besides that, I did know. Oh, she said she calls herself gender critical.
Critical. I knew
gender critical. Weird. Yes. In case you were on the edge of the seat wondering.
Yeah, I think I said gender restricted or I don't know.
Gender restrictive, critical. Which it sounds. I mean, it's probably the same. It sounds like the same meaning.
Well, yeah, I thought maybe she was restricting gender. I don't know, but that's what it was.
So yeah, I did accidentally see the clip. Someone shared it randomly on TikTok. I saw it last night, and I meant to tell you about it.
There you go.
I figured I'll just wait for the podcast. Look at me. I watched Good Trouble. You too, guys.
And she got nothing more than I did. That's the sad fact.
I literally only saw the scene you talked about too. That's creepy.
Well, TikTok. It was like one of the ooh scenes. But yeah, so then I went back to my old roots of Southern Charm when I realized on Peacock that it was another season and I was not up to date.
Yeah, but how'd you not know? Because I brought up to you about the whole J-Lo and what's his name, A-Rod thing. So obviously that was last season. So it had to be still on.
I watched last season. Yeah, but I didn't know that they came back for the 8th season. So, because I'm not too far back. Well, there's only 12 episodes, and I'm on episode 8. But I'm not. I think there's 2 more in Peacock. There's 9, 10.
I'll just say this: another episode started after.
Yeah, no, there's 2 episodes that I can still watch a Peacock, and then I'm current. So, because they're putting them up as they go.
It said Friday.
Yeah. Then there's.
So next week you'll have 3 episodes to talk about.
So, and then there's the finale, whatever that
I'm not
is.
surprised they got another season. I'm hearing Bravo shows are getting some of the best ratings they've ever got.
Look, listen to me.
Below Deck has been getting really great ones. I think Beverly Hills.
For a long time, I was not going to succumb to Southern Charm. I wasn't going to do it. And then one day I was like, I was in between Housewives. This was a long time ago, obviously. And I'm like, man, I think it was when they were only on season 4 or something. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'll watch one, see how funny they are, see if they're any good. They were so off the chain crazy, with the stuff that they were doing, mm-hmm. and just their Southern ways that I was just so freaking intrigued. I just ran through the whole thing, and then I kept, obviously, every season they added, I kept up with it. But they got to a point where certain people that I liked were leaving, and I was like, so I didn't know what I was going to do. But I do like the way the cast is now, kind of. It's not too bad. They have their regulars that are still there, which are Shep, Craig, Catherine, Whitney, and Austin. Austin was also on Summer House somehow. Shep has made multiple appearances on multiple things because he's crazy. And the new people I think are Leva. She was there last season. Madison was there last season. Madison is the one that was involved with A-Rod, or so they say. And they discussed that in season 7 finale. She still denies that she had anything to do with him in that respect, that he did contact her, but nothing came of it. Naomi is back. Naomi was Craig's girlfriend, and she was in prior seasons, but she left with her boyfriend. And then there's some actual newbies that I've never seen. Vanita, Olivia, Caleb, Taylor, and Paige. These are kind of all except for Vanita, she's a friend of, but they're all the girlfriends, boyfriends of people. So the season opens with Catherine, who is the craziest one. She was involved in all this drama with this. He was, I think, a senator that she got pregnant by. She was very young. She was 21. It was a big to do. It opens up with her birthday party that she's having, and it shows Craig and Austin are now, believe it or not, big business people. Craig, he was the goofballiest person in the beginning seasons. He was going to law school and he didn't want to do it. Somehow I don't know if it was during the pandemic, he started sewing.
Sewing?
He was out of work and he started sewing, making pillows. Let me tell you something. He has the biggest pillow company. I forgot what it was called. Something off the shore, the North Shore. I forget what it was off, but he's got huge. He's huge in this pillow business that he created. and now he's got like a store, and I mean, like, he's selling off the chains. And then Austin also, his beer company Trop Hop was like, it was a joke in the beginning seasons, and apparently now he's like really has taken off. Apparently Shep has money, family money, like they take this stuff very seriously back in the day, like where if your family was a certain lineage or something, you could be in this one country club, like no one else can be in it if you don't have this like family history and this family money or something. I don't know, it's very big. Then they show Shep, he has a new girlfriend, which I think he's been for like 2 years, but like she's new to me, Taylor. He's a 40-year-old guy that doesn't want to get married. I don't know why any girls are with him.
Which guy was he that I saw the last episode, the dog wedding.
He was the one the dog was getting married.
He was the one
that kept talking bad about weddings. Shep.
The one with the girl who had like the weird coat on?
Yes.
Oh.
They were in the car with the dog and all.
Oh yeah, the one. Yeah. Okay.
Craig is now with a girl named Paige. She lives in New York, so she's coming back and forth. But he hooked up with Naomi in Las Vegas, his ex-girlfriend, twice. But the girl does know that. But I don't think they were really together yet. Now they're officially together. Austin and Madison, who was with the A-Rod, they are not together, and now he's seeing this new girl, Olivia. Madison just recently got engaged in one of the episodes to some Mormon guy that she just met. Very odd. And Catherine is dating this guy, Caleb Ravenel, but Ravenel is the same last name as the guy that Thomas Ravenel that she got with, but they're not related, so it's very weird. Very odd that they have the same last name. Then every show there's a party. So Naomi has a party which causes fights. The new girls like Olivia and Vanita start fighting because she's defending Catherine. Like there's always a divide in these people. Like there's somebody that's on this one side and someone's on that side. The boys have a barbecue. They find out that Madison is engaged, so Austin's all busted up because he wants to be over this girl, but he's just not. Shep's worried about becoming an accidental father. He doesn't want kids. He doesn't want to get married. But then, like, I don't know why he's dating anybody because no one's gonna like put up with this.
Why doesn't he just? What is it? A vasectomy? Why doesn't he just get his tubes tied?
I don't. He should because I don't think he wants to be a father. But
that would be the smartest idea.
Yeah, considering he doesn't want to do any of this, he should just. He's honest with these girls, and they just believe that they're going to change him. He's 40. He's not changing. They should just stop it. It's just stupid. And then Craig and Shep help Austin move out of his childhood house in Charleston. And Taylor, who is Shep's girlfriend, the one that almost was pregnant, starts all this questioning him about like what is he doing, can she trust him and all like that. They'll break up by the end of this season, I guarantee it. That's not gonna it's not gonna last. She's not gonna you can already see like she makes these faces when he makes comments and stuff. And then Olivia, the one that's now trying to date Austin, is planning her family's oyster party, which apparently is like these things are like very big in the South, like in New Orleans and stuff. Like,
you know what's so funny though? When we watch
not New Orleans, I'm sorry, in Charleston. I mean, no,
South Carolina. Isn't Charleston South Carolina?
Yes, but they're not in.
They're in Charleston. What is going on? Where the hell are you?
South Carolina, yeah.
No, but you know what's so funny? When we watch MasterChef, they always say, in the South we don't have any fresh fish and stuff, and it's like,
yeah, no, Charleston has
I'm gonna be watching you Charleston folks on MasterChef now.
Certain places.
Who's lying?
Yeah, I don't know. They all are lying. The last, like to sum it up, the last thing that I watched was there's a lady, Patricia. She's the only older lady there. She's the mom of Whitney. He's not that young either, but they live in this like palatial mansion, and she's supposed to be like very well to do. And I guess Shep brought his dog over there, Craig, who, yes, he did name after Craig, the human. He calls him Little Craig. It was one time when he was pissed at Craig, he named his dog after him. Yeah. And he, I guess apparently Little Craig sullied Peaches, her dog's reputation, by having his way with her. So now she tells him he thinks he should do the honorable thing and marry her. And I swear it's just for airtime. She creates this lavish wedding with pews and flowers.
Yeah, I saw this.
Oh my Jesus word. And they actually get her a gown, and he has a top hat, and she doesn't want to walk down the aisle of the dog because she's like, this is just downright stupid. People are actually sitting there in the rain. It was raining, and they were sitting there in the rain.
You're telling me if somebody in our family didn't invite you to a dog wedding, you wouldn't show up?
I absolutely would go.
I might not, though, because
But I would go there
to the scared of dogs.
I would go there with the thought that this is hilarious.
Yeah.
But like some, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
some of them went there and they were like, "This is the stupidest thing." Yes, I'm coming.
Yeah, but I would be so
like,
serious about it too, like to make it even more hilarious. Like I'd be like so, like I know it's hilarious, but I'd be like, oh.
No, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying like some of them genuinely were taking this seriously, and I'm just like, no, it's crazy people. So yeah, there you go. That's the end, and yeah.
Wow, I still feel like that screen time of yours is gonna be quite high. I literally.
Oh, and then of course, don't get me wrong. I also watched Below Deck Sailing, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which was.
Oh my god!
I cleaned that one, clean sweep, and Below Deck Mediterranean episode 6, and of course, My Days of Our Lives, the 5 episodes for the week.
Oh my god! What I said is literally what I watched. We watched a few MasterChef episodes. Speaking of,
and I think I did finish.
Maggie?
No, I think. Oh no, Love Island USA.
Can you tell me when you're gonna finish Maggie? Because I keep putting on when you're gonna watch.
Stop
you better watch
it
this week.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do because I saw something I want to watch.
Oh, okay. So speaking of watching, obviously, hopefully, I hope it's right, but hopefully, Housewives should be back next week.
I think.
And we'll cover episode 16. Spin. Woo, woo.
I thought you were saying spin, like I'm like, who's spinning what?
And then obviously She-Hulk episode number 3, and it's currently up right now. We do a bonus episode of Selena plus Chef. We did 4, 5, and 6, and next week we'll be doing 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh, 4 episodes. Obviously only Murders in the Building as it's over.
I know, that's so sad.
So sad.
I hate when it's over.
Wait, should I check and make sure there's nothing else coming out? Also, on August 31st, we are going to be uploading our first official binge of the month. We're still coming up with a name for what we're going to call this because we have been brainstorming about this.
I think we kind of agreed that we're going to call it the bonus episodes, but then within that, it will have a subtitle. Like, so like, this one's going to be the bonus episode. It's going to be a bonus binge episode.
Yeah.
And then, like, if we did, like, a classic, say, like, a Disney classic or something, like, we'd call it, like, a bonus classic or something.
We're still working out the kinks.
Which means she doesn't like my idea.
No. I'm just saying, like, to give it, like, an official title stick name to it. We're just saying. Because, obviously, on August 31st will be our first full month of doing this.
Wow.
And, yeah, so then we'll be talking about, if you're wondering, MasterChef Season 8 and 9, which we're not going to probably do MasterChef again after this. Yeah. We think, first off, because we didn't watch anything else this month besides that as our binge, but MasterChef 8 and 9 are pretty different. We'll talk about that in that episode, but that'll be out August 31st. As of now, right now, besides this episode, Selena plus Chef is up. Also, we're going to do an Emmy predictions next week, 1 week away from the Emmys. What am I watching next week? Gonna obviously watch High School Musical, the musical. I'm gonna watch the rest of Dead to Me, finish it if I like it. If I don't like it, then I'm probably not. And I'll move on to Breaking Bad because I'm tired of being accosted to watch Breaking Bad in my personal life. I'm getting texts, I'm getting Snapchats, I'm getting accosted on my own birthday about watching this show. I have to put it to rest. Either watch the episode and hate it, or watch it and like it. Okay, so what are you watching? Because you say I'm putting the wrong stuff up.
No. I'm obviously going to watch the finale of Love Island USA, which I can, just dip into that just to show that I'm right and that Timmy and Zeta won. I will be so sad that Love Island is now officially over. I will probably be jumping onto HBO to finish my F-Boy Island.
Oh, yeah. Let me just say this. Actually, sorry, Breaking Bad. I'm not doing Breaking Bad. I have a list of HBO Max shows that we have to finish because we're already 2 weeks into our subscription. We only have it for 2 more weeks. So I'm going to actually binge watch a ton of HBO Max shows. So you have to follow me on Instagram to keep up with what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to do Dead to Me. But HBO Max, I'm going to try to get in Kung Fu. I'm going to try to get in Hacks. The Harley Quinn show. And we're going to try to watch together. We don't know if we'll cover it. We didn't get to finish Batwoman. And maybe Stargirl we're going to try to do. So we're going to do that. We'll watch that together. Maybe we'll just give like a little thought of what we saw.
Yeah.
Because Batwoman's canceled, if you didn't know. So sad. But yeah, so I'm postponing Breaking Bad one more time. Just because I can't let the HBO Max subscription run out and me have not watched it. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
but follow us on Instagram. If you haven't seen already, on our Instagram, we put a post up every Monday right after this podcast goes live saying what shows we're going to watch exactly. So if you hear us saying right now that we're watching this and it's not on there, check our Instagram. That's where we have like our official what we're watching pretty much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we have to share.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish what I was
sorry.
watching.
I'm so sorry. I thought you did.
It's all about her.
I thought you did
No,
finish.
I said one thing, Love Island.
Oh.
I didn't
Oh,
get
yeah, and then you got to HBO and I got distracted.
Yeah,
sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so I'll probably do my F-Boy Island, and then, because I think it's like, I got like a few left, and it's probably the end. But also, like her, I'm going to, after doing this little Emmy investigation of different shows, I think I might investigate Barry. I don't know why I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple of shows that I found that I was interested in.
What was the other one on Hulu? I mean, on
Abbott
HBO.
Elementary.
No, that's on AP. What are you talking
It is
about?
on HBO Max too as well. It's on Hulu though.
I forget what the other one that I saw that I thought. I know Barry was one that I thought was interesting.
Hacks I want to watch just because it is quite short, and it did win a lot of Emmys too previously. Kelly Cocos.
No,
The hell's her name? Kelly
no,
Key. I get her name. You get her name confused with Haley Kiyoko, and I get her.
Oh, I think Insecure. I thought looked like something I would probably like. But I don't know where that was because you didn't put down. Usually she puts down where the stuff is, but that one did, no, it didn't win a. It's not nominated for an Emmy for the show, so I have to figure it out myself. So hopefully it's somewhere I can see it, and I don't have to worry about HBO. But I'm also going to finish obviously my Southern Charm, My Days of Our Lives. That's given. Because they're like really in a murder mystery thing right now, so I gotta know what's going on. Yeah, the face masks. Were you party when I was telling you they were putting masks on the face and pretending to be people? It's crazy.
No.
Get in the daytime soap world. You will not regret it.
There's only 14,000 episodes for you guys to catch up on, and 67 seasons.
Actually, you can't see them all. If you go to Peacock, you can only see maybe back 50. I'm not sure. So, but it's 50 enough that you can catch on to what the hell's going on.
Well, let me just say this. Remember, we were looking at her TV time app because she's adding more. She's officially at 2 years. You can't even. They don't even have all of the Days of Our Lives episodes in there.
But they do have a Days of Our Lives Christmas episode, which I will try to watch if I can squeeze it in. Because on Peacock I saw that.
Why don't you just save it for Christmas time?
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, yeah. But I saw a new show that I think I want to watch. I mean, I want to try to watch those Dollface, but I just can't do it. I have to finish Maggie. I'm going to try. But
I'm going to strap her to a chair and make her watch Maggie.
There's another one that I want to watch. Everything I Know About Love. I just saw that one. I think that's on Peacock, so I want to see that one. I think I'm going to try it because I think it's not like, I think it's just like one episode, so I don't have to go. Oh, and of course Below Deck Mediterranean. I got to finish that one up.
You heard the show she's naming, and she will watch them all. It's not a joke. I only named the little bit that I did because I know I, for some reason, cannot get through them all. But she...
Oh, and making the cut?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, there's so much. I really got to probably sit down and think about this.
She's going to finish it all, though.
I don't know how I do it.
But she does. And she doesn't watch them on, like, 2 times speed or anything.
No, how could you? I can barely pay attention on 1 time speed.
I listen to
Put it on 2, please.
I listen to my books on 2 times speed. All right, but make sure you follow our Instagram because she has a little bit now time to think about it, and then we'll put our official what we're watching this week. And then you also have to follow the Instagram. Besides that, on the stories we'll post and be like, oh, we just watched this. We're gonna watch this. So you gotta make sure. I
was also thinking about dipping into High School Musical, but
I think you should.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't feel like I want to commit.
I don't know. I think you'd like it. I was not expecting to be as good as it is, and I not ironically listened to the music from that one that we listened to in the car about taking it for granted. That's from High School Musical, the musical.
I don't know. I'll think about it. I got enough on my plate.
But yeah, that's for when you run out of shows. Yeah. All right, this is way too long. Yep. Follow us on Instagram. You already know what to do. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening.
Just hit the button.
Come on. Oh my God.
Great job hitting the button.
Oh my God. I'm hitting it.
Hit the button.
What?
Hit the button.